All right. Welcome into the TDA Post Game Show, or the funeral for Alabama's playoff hopes, because that's exactly what we're looking at right now. Alabama is removed from any hope of a national title, as well as SEC contention, with this loss tonight to LSU on the Bayou. Waiting for everyone to come in. Glad to see some of y'all in the chat. Hey, start calling in. We got the number here on the screen, 205-898-4698. That is the number to call. Would love for y'all to get on here and just start talking, because you know what? I really need to kind of take a breather before I say something I don't want to say on a family channel here. So, but yes, Alabama has gone to Baton Rouge and lost in overtime. There's a lot to break down. Hopefully, my co-host will be here soon, because I need more than one person carrying this tonight. Hey, folks, let's start calling right now. 205-898-4698. Let's get in this thing. Hey, we're pissed right now. Let's get it out. It's time to get it out. Alabama loses in overtime after it blows my mind how unprepared we are, how undisciplined we are, and just how this team, as talented as it is, just continues to make the same mistakes week after week. And we hear the press conferences by Coach Saban and all the players giving us the Sunday school responses that we want to hear, and it amounts to absolutely nothing. Welcome in, Mr. McCoy. I'm on a little rage right now. I'm really ticked off because of what's happening. So I guess we're playing for the Capital One Bowl at this point, or will we even get there? Because playoff hopes are done. The any shot at the SEC championship is done, and hey, we still got to go to Ole Miss next week, and we got 3 more games on our schedule. So I'm kind of curious what we're going to do the rest of the way out.
Man, I call my wife. I tell everybody. People ask me all the time, "You want to be saving them?" I said, "Man, spread the ball out, bro. We don't." That game was so predictable on our side of the field. I mean, bro, we didn't. We don't. We always. Everybody's like, "Man, what's that? You know what's wrong? What's wrong with these guys that we got on this team? These mother freaking NIL deals. These boys are no longer hungry. They don't have to work. You don't. When you give a kid a check, bro, that has come from a low poverty area, you can hang that shit up, man. The coaches on the sideline. You got all these coaches. Sal Sinceri is an assistant. Why is assistant head coach? He needs to be the head. I know he gonna light a fire under the boards. Sal old school, bruh. This shit gotta go. He need a clean house. Everybody gotta go. No receiver stepped up. Jamar Gibbs is probably the most electric player on the field. Why would you not run a toss sweep to him on the outside? If he's the fastest guy on Bama team, why would you not put him in space with a linebacker? O-line inconsistent. We play one out of these 10 weeks. These boys have played 2 goddamn good games. We sorry. We poo cheese, man.
It blows my mind to have all this talent, and
I don't believe in that.
Well, I want to retract that. Let me retract that. All this, supposed talent that we were supposed to breeze through the schedule this year, and we breezed right on out the playoff. I just don't understand how anybody can justify what we're seeing on both sides of the ball from a play calling standpoint. It makes no sense. And I'll be honest with you, in the majority of the game, the offense just looked like they weren't amused at all. They didn't want to be there. Now, and Bryce was off tonight. I don't know if it was because of his arm or what, but there were several opportunities that we had people that were uncovered over the middle. He just wasn't hitting them.
This is what people don't understand. And this is where I talk to strength coaches all the time at universities, man. And this is what we're running into. we're getting so science-based that we're getting dumb. And I guarantee you, they're monitoring. Now, I'm not opposed to watching how many passes that you get a practice, but I guarantee, hey man, make sure you get these mental reps, guys. Timing is everything, and we don't know what receivers are out there, man. Like, and every receiver is different. Like, you can have the same height, same stature, whatever you want to be, man. But I tell you what, Bryce wasn't comfortable. Hell, he didn't get a he didn't call his own plays. He know that shit wasn't gonna work. You know, as a player, if your coach calling some bull junk and you see something else out there, bro, you ain't. It ain't there. So I'm not gonna put that on Bryce. I'm putting that on coach. That start up top, man. That starts up top. That's like me running my business. Something go wrong. They ain't looking at my staff. They're looking at me.
Yeah, I agree.
If this show went to crap, they looking at me and you, bro. They ain't looking at nobody else.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've been saying the same things week after week, Mike. But a lot of people aren't wanting to listen. They're calling us haters, and they're saying, "How dare you question Nick Saban? How dare you question
Hey
his
man,
assistants?"
whoever these folks is, I hope they watching that. That man is not above criticism. The man is not God.
No,
Y'all better get out of there. You paying this man that much money. That's like, again, and I'm not saying I love Coach Saban. I played for him 3 years under the man. But guys, times are changing. You have to adjust. And all these coaches are soft. You know why Kirby over there winning? Kirby got some gangsters. He got
he
some dogs
does.
over there. We need to go get these kids who look at their baby pictures. I need some kids who had silver caps in their mouth, had crayons stuck up their noses, wiping boogers on kids. Them the kids that we need. You
Yeah,
need 2 church
absolutely.
boys and 3 gangsters. That's gonna
Well,
balance everything out.
I agree. I mean, you look at Georgia today, man. They don't care about NIL. You can look in their face, man. They have that mental side. They might not
Hungry.
be as talented, but man, they know what the assignment is, and they're not going to drop the ball on that. I saw none of what I saw in Georgia earlier and us today, or quite honest, the entire season.
You know why? Think about their quarterback. He's been the underdog his whole career. He has he has the Napoleon syndrome. Look at the running back at LSU tonight. That boy used to be a walk on, bro.
And
These boys, they earn. They shit is earned, not given. These Bama players, everything they got is given. You spend all this money on these facilities for what? To lose? To lose? Y'all got all this money
yeah,
to
got.
lose? Look
Hey
at
man,
y'all.
I tell you what,
We
when we go ahead and check Instagram real quick and see how quickly these guys are going to start posting, because
I
that's another thing, man. These guys have no clue, man. They have no clue what it means to play for Alabama, what the actual process is. They think it's just something they can post on their Instagram or wherever their social media is, their Snapchat. They don't get what it takes, man. They're just going through the motions. These kids don't get it. And they're not
Saban
going
is
to get it because nobody is holding them accountable. They're allowed. This is allowed. This is
well.
learned behavior.
This is learned behavior because it's become acceptable. Kids who are undisciplined. Again, when I got money now, bro. You really can't tell me that I ain't fighting over no. I ain't got to eat bologna sandwiches no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, honestly, man, these kids have examples. Well, he has ADHD, so that's a pass. They don't give you no damn pass to act out or
I,
not do your
I
job.
I have
You gonna AD?
ADHD. I had to work harder for everything I had.
You didn't make no excuses for it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I didn't
And
want that
that's
as a crutch.
you were probably embarrassed to even tell people. These boys, they use that as an excuse now. I got a kid, I'm not even gonna call his name, but I got a kid in my gym who's autistic, right?
Hmm.
And I never forget, he came in, he spazzed out, started throwing stuff at the wall. I told him, hey man, we ain't gonna do that stupid stuff in here. Bro, I kid you not. I have not had any more issues out of that kid. Kids just want to be told what to do, how to do, and when to do, man. They look for it. Accountability. We so caught up in the latest trend. These coaches are so caught up in what rivals or Under Armour. Oh,
Yep.
he played in the Under Armour All-American game. Man, that don't mean. Give me a boy playing in the Mississippi Alabama game. Give me a kid that played the North and South. Give me a guy who granddaddy used to play there. He got bloodline to play there. That boy who caught them 2 touchdowns, I call that screen. That tight end, Jason Taylor, son, it's a pedigree. Yeah. It's a pedigree. His uncle is Zach Tom. It's a pedigree. Yep. You're supposed to do that. Man, hey, what they need to do, Saban better figure this out this offseason. He needs some new assistants, man. Clean house. It's almost like the NFL. Instead of paying somebody old head, maybe $5 million. Hey man, I can get a 2-year guy for 2.5, half of that, and go come in and do a better job, and ain't gonna complain.
Yeah, I agree.
Too many prima donnas, man.
You know, I don't want to hear any more of the Sunday school answers like I was telling you earlier. That time is over. You know, we talk about penalties. We talk about being undisciplined. We had 10 penalties again tonight. In the first half, we were 0 in the red zone.
Oh, red zone, bro. We kicking field goals. Then we going for 2, bro.
What the hell was that?
Bro, 2, I don't know.
You kick those 2 extra points. You set up Will Reichert at the end to be kicking the game-winning field goal. But no, we're over here going for 2. What in the blue hell is that?
Man, I don't know what Saban doing. I think he's trying to keep up with it again. I think he's trying to. It's catch-22. He trying to be new school, nicer to these kids, talking about I gotta judge. He really ain't got to recruit for real. It's like Kentucky basketball. Everybody wants to play for Coach K. Or, you know what I'm saying? Calipari.
Calipari, yeah.
Everybody want to play for them guys. They used to have to hustle, do what they did back in the day. But you want to go to the next level, you going there. You going to be a system player, Jack.
And we got to get to the calls, but there's one thing I want to bring up because someone asked me this actually during the game. Yeah, you touched on a little bit as well as far as the physical side of it in the weight room. I think as soon as we lost Coach Cochran, that's where the biggest drop-off was. And a lot of people argued that his style of strength and conditioning was what was causing all those injuries. I disagree with that from a physiological standpoint. Football is a contact sport. Injuries are going to happen regardless. Now, being in the weight room will prevent that from happening, but sometimes it just happens. These guys are over here getting tested and getting all these little numbers posted and doing whatever this trendy workout is they're doing. I don't see those dogs who are controlling people who are ahead of them anymore. I see us getting moved back. We're out physicaled by everybody we play with. So I want to hear from you, is losing a guy like Scott Cochran one of the contributing factors why things are not exactly what they should be?
Me and Cochran talked often about the style of the weight room. You have to have a balance. You have to have a good cop and a bad cop. There's got to be 2 of y'all. And it has to be a situation almost such as, hey man, there's got to be the weight room strength and conditioning gets tedious, bro, because you got 105 guys in there. Everybody has to get a lift. The guys that don't travel, they got to hit certain numbers. They got to peak at the right time, this, that. And in the summertime, like when you're running and you're not working on your lateral movement and you're only working on your linear, that straight ahead running, and you begin to break down, that's what the groins, that's what ACLs, that happens. That's part of football. But I'm gonna leave these folks with a Bible verse, man, and I'm paraphrasing it. The smarter you get, the weaker you get. Me saying that the smarter we get, the more reliant we become. People don't even wear watches anymore. Why? Because your phone is your watch now.
Yeah, you're right on that.
You know what I'm saying? People don't even go grocery shopping anymore because they deliver it to your home. We don't even wash our car because we go through car washes now. Like everything that we used to do, like real man work, real manual labor, it has dumbed down. When you go to McDonald's or you go to these restaurants, it's self-checkout. You put your stuff on the counter. If nobody's working, We're all relying on systems, F systems. You cannot measure emotions or heart on he hit this. I don't
Yep.
care what he do in the weight room. Look at Kevin Durant. He's skinny as a rail. This man he got to wear spandex with a belt, but he will give you
Not a belt.
buckets. You know what I'm saying? He will
Yep.
give you buckets. Monte Ellis played against him in high school. Skinny as can be, but the heart of a lion. Look at Bryce. Look at Bryce barely 6'1" on a great day.
Yeah.
90 pounds?
Maybe. Yeah.
Heart of a lion. Now, people can say what they want, but I feel like you got to have a guy like Cochran in there, or the Tommy Moffitt program. Those guys, West Side Barbell. Now people gonna be like, "Hey man, that's old school." I get it. I hear you.
Yeah,
But
but it
these
worked.
elite, it worked, but it will work even better on elite athletes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
it will work even better. You got to break their will. These kids have been told they're so good so long. They haven't got to that point, that threshold to find out, question, do I want this or not? Fourth quarter used to be 8 weeks for us. You know what it is now for them? 3
Eh,
weeks. We used to be scared to eat, bro. We used to be scared
because
to
it's gonna be
eat.
on the ground.
Oh my God, man, bro. Guys passing out. I remember, this is people, I ain't gonna call the coach's name. True story. I would never forget this. We were in practice. One of the guys on the team he was a diabetic, still is the diabetic. And he was like, "Coach, I can't see." He's like, "I need a break. I need some water." Coach said, "Well, you're gonna die here today." But you know what the kid did? He finished.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Reggie Ragland hit on that, about 3, 4 weeks ago, how Saban used to ride him relentlessly, was cussing him out up and down the field. And then one day he understood why, and he was grateful for that. These kids want a timeout card. These kids want to go in their little safe
You hurt
places
my feelings.
because you have anxiety.
I can't believe we even talking about that, man. That's even like this mental health stuff again. I know it is real. I
It is
agree with
real,
it.
but
When you sign up for this shit, that's what you get. I don't want to hear nothing. If I'm paying you to do a job, you gonna deal with the anxiety when you leave.
right. And yeah, I agree with you. Mental health is a serious thing. However, I think a lot of times they're using it as a crutch to be able to get out of certain things because they're allowed to.
You see my crutches back here, though. For the
Yes,
guy, for the people who don't know, I tore my Achilles.
yeah.
You know what I did? This is the true story. My wife can attest to this. Even the kids at Hoover can attest to this. So I tore my Achilles Monday. I went home. I drove home Monday. Took a shower. Worked Monday. Went to the doctor on Tuesday. Worked Wednesday, Thursday. Had surgery Friday. I only took a week off after I had surgery. I literally walked half a mile to my car on a torn Achilles. That is the kind of dog that you got to have.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work to show my kids a real man job is never done.
You're
Bro.
right.
So I don't want to hear none of that, man. Like that, these are different times. No, we don't require the same effort. You can't whoop your kids no more.
Nope, you can't.
You can't even discipline your kids.
Matter of fact, Adrian Pearson got suspended from the league because he whooped his kid one time.
Soft
But
generation, man.
it is, and two things that kind of stood out to me this week. Talking to one Ryan Fowler, the mindset is in the coaches too. He said that he had a conversation with Bill O'Brien here recently, and the comment that stood out to him the most in their conversation was, "Well, we're good, but we're not great." Really? That's on you, coach. You got all these 5 and 4 stars. If we're not great and we're not elite, that's on you.
But that's what we are putting emphasis on. As people who are fans, they're looking at the star ranking. So half of these people haven't even watched these kids play. All they know is what they hear. They go by on what they see. These people love who they love. They hate who the media tells them to hate. They only hate Bill O'Brien because former athletes and former people who actually studied the game of football are saying, hey, man, this is poo cheese. This defense is not what it used to be. Like, you just had a running back destroy both of your inside linebackers. Ran right smooth on past their ass, gave a mean stiff arm. And and then this is what pissed me off. Battle, I used to love him, and I still love him as a player.
Yeah.
This man ran 31 yards on you, and you helped his ass up. Kiss my ass.
All of it, not just little corners. Every single one of it.
This man just ran 31 yards on y'all to put themselves in a position to win, and you just helped him up, man.
Where's the pride?
Where the dogs at? Where the gangsters at?
They're definitely not here.
Smoke black. I need some boys smoke black and mild, man.
During the game, like Reuben Foster.
Right.
First play in overtime, and Jaden Daniels just blows past you like you're not even there. And then if that didn't take your manhood enough, you give up the 2-point conversion with ease.
Bro, I called that play. I told my wife, I said, I guarantee you, I promise you they're going to throw to this tight end. I said, he's in motion. They're going to have, it was 2-by-1. Bro, we used to run that play. McElwain used to run that play. Like, bro, they're beating us with stuff that we used to run. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, again, these guys are not doing, there's nothing new under the sun.
Nope, not at all.
Why would you throw a slant on the goal line instead of throwing a fade? Or he has more room. He was too tight on the slant anyways. But man, I'm done. Let's get some calls, man, because I'm ready to hear what these fans got to say.
One thing that I want to say before we do that, Trent was with us this week, and he said that he was down there for the Mississippi State game. Well, not the game, but the practices and whatnot leading up to it. And he wouldn't really go into full detail because I guess he wasn't going to call anybody out on live streaming shows here. But he just said, man, I looked around there and there's a lot of stuff that's not right now.
Everybody got a check now, man. That's what I'm telling you. Ain't nobody is the truth. It's almost like that Future song. We have gotten comfortable. You can't get comfortable. I remember when I lost my starting job in practice. I had to earn it back.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember me and Kareem Jackson. We was doing one-on-ones. We were doing runs. Hey man, I know when that is run zone. It's red zone. That's like you running 5 yards in. So ain't no passes, ain't nothing. It's straight blocking. Bro, we be in cahoots. Hey man, we gonna go. I'm gonna run you off, or we gonna block up, or whatever. It's cool. Handshake, let's get it. Well, they ran a little screen. A little toss sweep to the outside. Trenton right behind. No, Marcus right behind me. And I'm thinking Kareem we locking up. Next thing I know, Kareem threw me to the side, made the play. All I heard was next, and I got cussed out for about 5 minutes. And I say all of that to say, man, nobody's job is on the line over there.
Nope.
They've gotten comfortable. And I know I'm a former player, and I'm telling you, when you earn that starting job, you don't have that same hunger as you used to have. It takes a special player to keep that fire lit. I'm just telling you, man.
No, I'm with you. But yeah, let's get to these calls. These guys have been waiting. And I want to remind everybody who was watching as well as listening in the waiting room, you won't be able to hear Mike's responses. So if you want to hear what Mike has to say, after you state your name, tell us what it is you want to talk about, then hop off the call, and then we can give you the response that you need. So we're going to go ahead and start letting folks in. Welcome to the TDA Post Game Show. You're on live with Mike McCoy and Justin Riley. Man, tough game.
Guys, this is Mattress.
Go ahead and.
Hey guys, it's Mattress Matt. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I called the other week, and I said if we didn't fire Bill O'Brien and bring in a new offensive play caller, that it was going to cost us a season. And here we go. I'm not that smart of a guy. Okay. Here's the deal. The whole reason the players don't have confidence and that they're nervous, it's the same thing as does it matter how intense a dog is when he's chasing his own tail? No. He's never going to catch his own tail, no matter how intense he is, no matter how passionate he is, and no matter how much he buys in to the chasing his own tail system. And that's what we have. We have a offensive system that is restraining all of the players instead of maximizing. So we have elite players. We have the best offensive players in the entire country, and we are deep. Bill O'Brien is a disease and a cancer. He is the only reason Alabama. He is the number one reason behind the problem. Well, number one would be Nick Saban for not vetting him and getting some people to take a look at what kind of offense he was going to be running. Because it's like it's torture watching Bryce Young sit back there and everybody just look confused.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of shifting the line one way and sending a Christian Leary or a Kobe Prentice or somebody or and then sending them the other direction, tossing the ball out to them and letting them just run wide open, run the field. We're not even trying that. We're not even trying. Why can't they just grab Steve Sarkisian worked there for 2 years? Why can't they grab his playbook and Nick Saban slam that thing down in front of Bill O'Brien's face? What's he doing up there in the press box, away from everybody? You can't even get to him, and he's sitting up there ruining the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you can't blame the players for this. The players are not to blame. You have to give the players something to work with. They have nothing to work with. They're deer in headlights. They have no idea what's going on. That's why they're nervous, because you can't buy in to a freaking turd. Nobody's gonna buy into that. You have to have something to work with. They don't even have anything. They're just chasing tails. But it's too late now.
Yeah, I agree, man.
But you know what? The good thing about Nick Saban, he knows this, but he's loyal, and he's not loyal. He just he's in a tough spot. He doesn't want to. I guess he doesn't want to rock the boat, but that just doesn't seem like Nick Saban to me, to not want to rock the boat. But he should have gone up there. He should have. There's so many things that could have been done, and they just weren't done. It's just like watching nails on a chalkboard. You got the best players ever out there being restrained. We have the fastest players. We have the fastest players in all of college football in Kobe Prentice and Christian Leary. I mean, the fastest, and they never even touch the ball. They can. If you get them on the field, running down the field, there is nobody that can catch them. Nobody on any team, and they don't even touch the ball. You have to give the players the ball, and then open up a play that's going to allow them to use their talents. But look, I'm just going to be saying the same thing over and over again. Let me tell you the core issue. Bill O'Brien. Bill freaking O'Brien. My God, he's a piece of crap.
But everybody wants to say that we don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, we've been calling it for weeks. If you've been watching our show.
Months, but, not weeks, months.
But Matt, thanks for giving us I think he hung up. Bo, welcome in. That was a mic drop moment, but go ahead, Bo. You've been saying it for months, all of it, and now we find ourselves out of the playoffs. And all we're going to do is get the Sunday school answers again come Sunday or Monday when the press conference arrives. So
I said every year, LSU gonna always be a competition for us. And the thing that I have a problem with, why is Jordan Battle going behind the defenders when they in a zone coverage? You know you have to cover the tight end. The ball is on the 2-yard line. Why is you going behind the defenders? You have to shortcut that. You have to cut that pass off. If Jordan Battle were in the position that he's supposed to be in, LSU when they got that 2-point conversion, we would have won the game. But Jordan Battle on the zone defense went behind the 2 receivers, the number 1 and number 2 receiver, to get to the tight end that was already in the end zone that came out on the flat route. And we did the same thing against Clemson back in 2016-17 when we lost the championship in Tampa. When they ran the same thing on the goal line, we in zone coverage, and they run a run route and they get Hunter Renfrow open, and they want to say that it was illegal.
So the question is that Coach Saban play calling, or is he not teaching it? Because, like you said, I'm with you 1,000%. You're supposed to run with him across that. That's what you do when you're in man. That's common sense. That's football 101. But if you pay attention, when they rule their tight end in motion, they going behind the linebackers, and they waited till they did that shit in the red zone and picked their ass off.
You know why? You know why they ran that play in the red zone like that?
Shit, they knew.
Because we've been getting beat on zone coverage in the red zone every week.
Middle of the field, wide the fuck open. And what pissed me off, and that's what I was telling him earlier, bruh just gassed you for 31 yards and you helping them up. Like, what time y'all on, man?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how you gonna help this? Man, I gotta excuse my language. How you gonna help this guy up and you ain't even help your own cheerleader up or your own coach, but you gonna help the opposing team?
LeBron, you ruined the game, man. Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's all generation.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But you know what it fall back on? It fall back on the leadership team. Because at the end of the day, the leadership is the ones who run the team. I don't see no alpha dogs. We don't have any alpha dog, period. We don't have no stand-up guy. We ain't got nobody that gonna walk around, be mean, slap guys upside the head and put them in the position they supposed to be in. Ruben and Ryan Anderson changed the defense when they was on the field.
And gonna fight.
These guys not making any adjustments. Nothing. None.
And you have guys like Ruben and Ryan. If people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, they stop practice, right? And they refuse to go forward until you get those people off the field who weren't doing their job. We don't have any of that right now.
Nah, we don't.
I told them, Bo, I said they getting all this new nice stuff. I said everybody's satisfied over there. They on the rap. It's almost like they on Cash Money Records over there, man. Everybody eating. Ain't nobody hungry no more. They got
when you can post a 2021 Mercedes and you just got your ass kicked by Tennessee, and then you post this picture before you play against LSU. Man, listen. If when we were playing, if guys ain't know what they were doing, man, we see you in the locker room. You don't want to. Now we don't play that. Like, if you don't know what you're doing and you ain't buying in to the team, you got to go.
That peer group right now ain't nothing but some engineers.
Man, the peer group is soft.
Lawyers on them. You know what I'm saying?
Peer group is soft, man. They probably giving them boy one punishment and a slap on the hand. Hey, when I was on the leadership team, you ain't want me to peer you. I'm giving you 6 a.m. workout, 6 a.m. study hall, 9 o'clock study hall on Fridays and Saturdays. Listen, our
Them
leadership
boys,
group was hell. That's why
they don't understand.
we didn't have to peer number one person, John
All right.
Frazier. And everybody know how bad John Frazier attitude is. And when they saw what we did to John Frazier, everybody got in line. Everybody bought into the system. And guess what? We won all the way and won the championship.
What you supposed to do?
With
let me
our second string defense.
Yes. And let me bring that up. Everybody loves to throw in whenever we lose a game that, oh, well, Alabama, every time they lose a game, they end up going to the national title.
Not
these
this year.
These guys don't have that mentality that Bo's group did or anyone else for that matter. This generation does not get it. So don't ever throw that crap up at me anymore. Listen, we got to take some callers that they've been waiting. Reminder, callers, you won't be able to hear what Bo and Mike say. So if you would state your name, what you want to talk about, then hop off and then resume watching so you can hear what they have to say. Welcome in live with Justin, Bo, and Mike, who we have on the phone.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is G from Raleigh.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you in here with us.
Hey, look, I called in before, and I'm going to say the same old thing. We got to accept that Bama cannot be the same without the original ingredients. And I'm going to say this, too. You talk about a 15-year younger Saban minus 4 to 5 championships. The team don't have the same spunk. Saban don't have the same spunk. He's not the same cutthroat. And I think he's becoming a victim of his own success. He's a victim of his own success. Saban has done a decent job, a great job of turning other playmakers into like DBs. I've always felt that Branch should not be a nickel. Because if you look over the history of Branch playing nickel, he has too many late game PIs. Also, we got to blame Saban for Pete Golden. I don't think none of these players I don't think Bama players are different than Georgia players. I think every kid in this age group plays on Instagram. Every kid in this age group play and tweet, post. Everybody does it. The difference is there's no more Kirby. We have to. We got to put that out there. There's no need to cover it up. I even think Georgia run the same system we running. So it's Saban's fault. I'm not pointing the finger to nobody else. Pete should not have been here for like the past 2 seasons, and he's paying for it.
Shouldn't have came. Period.
Who he decides to play these days over who's playing. I mean, it finally caught up. Saban ways has caught up to him, and I think his success has put him in the I don't have to change nothing mindset. It's just I don't see what's going on with Sal Sinceri and why he's not coaching the outside linebackers no more. I remember when Sal used to coach outside linebackers, no quarterback would have broke the chain like that when Sal was coaching. I hate to say it's Saban that I just don't think he's willing to change. I don't think he's willing to change, and it's due to his success, and I think it's due to his age and not having the same spunk. I really think that's what it is. And like I said, it's no more Kirby. Kirby doing what Bama used to do. So if you look at what we had and what we were doing good, and you look at what we don't have no more and look what's failing, we know the missing ingredients. We just haven't failed. We failed to replace a dominant mentality for our defense. Like I said, I don't want to blame the NIL. I don't think everybody's doing NIL. It's Saban not firing Pete. That's really what's going on. Defense, Pete is losing every elite matchup with a coordinator. Every time we have faced a coordinator, Pete losing the headset match. It's not the players, really. It's Pete losing every matchup with elite coordinators. And you know what hurt so much? Trent said in the video, when Trent had to give his prediction on the score, he said, "Man, it's a damn shame we even talk about 20-something points. We just watched Kirby not give up 20 points to the same team that put 60 on us."
Mm-hmm.
So Saban can't fool us no more with, "Oh, it's the time. It's the time." The fact Saban even covering that shit up like that, talking about it's the time, and it's not his coordinator, it's disturbing. I don't know what's going. I don't know if Saban's going to change. If we don't hear about a firing by Monday, Tuesday, I think we in the same shithole. That's just my take on it. And like I said, I'm putting all this on Saban. We all know what's the issue. We watched, they saying Ricks didn't play because of some off-field issues. I believe in being a man first, but I mean, bro, your judgment on who's been playing has been questionable for the past 2-3 years. So I think we have to accept, like, the GOAT of college football is being a victim of his own success, and he's not willing to make the cutthroat decisions as before.
Absolutely. Well, man, we appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in, brother. I'm gonna let my guys give their thoughts. So if you would hang up and listen, and hear what these guys got to say.
All right, appreciate your tempo.
No problem. All right, what you got, man? I mean, it's a lot of this, the same thing. We're kind of repeating ourselves as we have every week. I mean, this is nothing new. Jamie Wilhelm says right here, I ask our panel what would they do now in terms of changes that need to be made. I mean, it's the same thing we've been saying every week.
Well, I'm a guy that's always gonna put it on the players. I never put it on the coaches because the coaches is not between the white lines. They can only set you up for that. So I'm putting it on the players because they never in the right position and they never be where they supposed to be at. We're running the same system that we've been running for the past 15 years, and we won 5 to 6 national championships off the same thing that we've been winning. But the difference is we had different type of players on that team. And it don't matter who you getting coached by, it's about the mentality that you have when you step on the field. Like you your own person when you step on the field. Coach Byrne can't run the ball for you. Coach Saban can't throw the ball for you. He can't play defense for you. He can only put you in the position for it. And you got to have the knowledge to know what you're doing. Yeah. The OC and the DC play a pretty big role in it, but at the end of the day, it's all come down on the player because it's their responsibility. Like it's their team. Like they still not understanding when I say the leadership runs the team. The leadership runs the team. Coach Saban only give his say so, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about Coach Saban and how he does things. We run the team. He doesn't. He run the coaching staff. If we doing something in practice that he doesn't like, he not gonna say nothing to us. He gonna go say something to the position coach about it, and the position coach gonna come say something to us about it. You wanna know why? Because that's what he pays them for. He can't pay. Why would I pay a running back coach and only one that coaching them? I might as well not even have a coach if I'm gonna do that. That's why it's all come down on the player. The players got to be willing to learn and buy into the system and get off their social media with all the NIL deal and the money. That's the whole problem. That's what it is. Go yard bags, Louis Vuitton bags, Mercedes trucks, Mercedes cars, Range Rovers. Like you seeing number foreign cars in the parking lot now to what back in the day it was Honda, Chevrolet, and Tahoes.
Sitting on them things though.
Yeah, sitting on the thing. You know what I'm saying? But get what? But Mike, you know where it comes from. You know how it go.
I agree. I think now I guess because I'm in the coaching forum too, it's catch-22. I feel like you got to have both of them. You got to make the right leaders. You got to recruit the right players. I think Buddy made a good point. It's called King's disease. And again, King's disease, now I made an album off of it, but it's essentially basically you're a victim of your own success. You get too comfortable. Well, it's the old analogy. The wolf at the mountain is not as hungry as the one climbing the mountain. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that threshold, what do? What made Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan so great all their years? They stayed assholes. They were consistent the entire time. Now that you got, now Bo is 1,000% right, but I don't see him cussing none of them coordinators out on the sideline. That's the problem.
They're in the booth.
They in the booth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
With their hat turned around.
And you know why they in the booth? Because they don't want to be embarrassed on TV. Lane Kiffin went in the booth. Him and Coach Saban went into it on the sideline all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I agree 1,000%.
And at the end of the day, they were buddy.
But that's why Kiffin's successful right now.
But you know what you said? You said you made a great point when you were talking about Kirby. I don't. Were you there with Kirby?
Of course, I was there with Kirby.
Yeah,
I love the Kirby. I don't know what Pete Golding doing, but I'm 100% sure I know what Coach Cochran and Coach Kirby is doing over there.
Hold on.
I don't know the strength training coach over there too well. I know his background, where he been, but at the same time, he's not a Coach Cochran. Coach Cochran got the team. He got the leadership ready to get the team ready.
You said a mouthful then, but you remember how Cochran and Kirby and Saban used to get into it, arguing about who was right. That's what Saban needs. He got too many guys that are playing kiss ass.
Yes, man. He got too many. Yes, man.
Again, that's King's disease. When you got too many, it's almost like, Bo, just imagine you finna put on a clown ass outfit. You finna go to the club. You think you look good. Your homeboy, bro, I hope he don't wear this shit. I hope he don't wear it. But yeah, Bo, that look good, bro. Go on and put that on. You fly. Because they know you paying the way in. They know you buying all the bottles.
Right.
They know the girls coming to the section. So they ain't going to give you no rebuttal. But your real homeboy, your dude that grew up with you, hey, bro, take that monkey shit off. That's what they going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Coach Saban don't have.
Right.
He don't have that no more. Everybody's about themselves. That's why I'm tripping like, why don't you? Go ahead. I'm right there with you.
I'm going to tell you why he don't have those type of coaches on the field no more. Because the Coach Byrne, the Sasson Seri, the Coach Cochran, the Kirby Smarts, the Jeremy Pruitt, the on down the line, those guys, the Coach Thompson, you know what I'm saying? Those guys are getting your ass in practice. Like Coach Saban ain't had to do nothing. Like those guys will make you feel like, do I really want to play football?
Oh God,
this shit right for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And fourth quarter, if you can make it through fourth quarter, you can make it through anything.
What did I say before he got on the phone? What did I just say?
They're not doing that no more, though, Mike. That's the problem.
But again,
man, I don't know what's going on. So when we went into overtime, I'm like, we got this because what we built for, like games for overtime. That's what we run all on 110s for. You know what I'm saying? That's what we run all them 80s for.
First play.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. So, and again, me being in the strength and conditioning world, again, like I just told Justin earlier, we've gotten so smart that we monitor how many guys they hook you up to machines. Hey man, if this guy keep running at this rate, he's gonna pull this quad muscle. He's gonna pop his hamstring. The ones who building all this shit ain't never played no football. They never played basketball. You can read a textbook, you can study all the science in the world, but at the end of the day, man, what you can't measure is their mindset. What you can't measure is their heart. What you can't do is pay that boy mama bills who rent due on the 15th, and he know he got to make this play. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When he trying to stand on that stage and say, "Mama, we made it," these boys got to check. These NIL deals on took over. These boys don't want it no more, man. I'm just telling you, it has ruined football. And one thing about it, Coach Saban he need to call Pruitt right now why he ain't got no job. That's what I call right now.
Just
Then
I tell you that at the beginning of the year what he just said.
Hey, I'm just gonna nod my head because all the stuff that y'all are saying, It's what's been missing, man. It's the truth. But like I said, we've been getting so much pushback from all these people who seem to think that none of y'all know what you're talking about, which
That's
still
because
blows my
those
mind.
guys ain't played a down of football a day in their life.
And that's what gets me though, Bo, is you have these fans who think that you guys who strapped it up for Coach Saban don't know what you're talking about, but everybody across the board is saying the same exact thing. But their response is, "Oh, y'all are haters. Y'all aren't Coach Saban. Y'all played for him." And when all of you are collectively saying this ain't right, I'm gonna listen.
We look sorry tonight. We look like an average team.
We look more than sorry. That was embarrassing. I turned the game off. I ain't even want to watch it no more. Them guys can't cover nobody. Them guys can't block nobody. They can't block nothing. They couldn't block air if it was out there with them.
They'd probably trip over it.
We can't even run the ball, Justin. We known for running the ball. Listen, our running back not even getting in the running back stance. They standing up. That's how I know it's a pass play.
All right.
You standing up on pass play, but you get in your stance when you finna run the ball.
Let me ask you a question.
Up on that? They watch film just like you watch film.
Let me ask you a question. How come when it's 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, we're in shotgun?
That's because we don't have Lane Kiffin as the OC.
You're at a disadvantage if you're not lined up under center. You got more steps to take. I don't understand that, but yet here we are. Every time we get a 4th and inches or 4th and 1, Bryce is freaking lined up in shotgun.
Yeah, and when you in the shotgun, you already at a -5.
I don't know, man.
Let's take a call.
If you got 1 yard to go, you got to get 6 to get the first. To get that 1 yard.
Talk to me.
Let's go ahead and get another caller in. Again, reminder to callers, you won't be able to hear what Bo and Mike say. So state your name, drop some knowledge, and then hop off so you can hear what they had to say. But you're on live with Justin, Mike, and Bo. Who we have online and what you want to talk about?
Hey, man, this is Mike from Kentucky.
What's going on, Mike?
Bro, is it just me, or over the last several years, it seems like they are trying to take the violent nature of football out of the game? I mean, it's like watching these guys tackle. They look like they're working in a nursing home putting old people to bed. It's driving me insane, bro. I'm from a different era, man. Spearing was legal when I played. I was trying to break my helmet.
There you go.
Every play. I was trying to break my helmet. And if I could stick it right in your ear hole as you was going to the ground before the whistle blew, I'm going to ask you how them bells sound, boy, when you're getting up.
As you should.
And you just, the game ain't played like that no more. I mean, and look at the way practice is now. They don't, no more board drill, no more Oklahoma drill. You know, it's a kinder, gentler game, and I'm about done with it altogether. We got old school coaches with this more polite version of football that they're playing these days. You can't pop nobody now, man. They'll review it. You know, you take yourself out of the game. You really lay the wood on somebody, somebody's going to throw a flag. Impolite player, you know, or whatever they call it these days, man. I'm just
Yep.
I don't even like watching the sport no more. I mean, the mental mistakes, I mean, it's been said, you know, the coaches, this, that, and the other, but gentlemen, it's inevitable. If you live long enough, the game's going to pass you by. And I think we're just seeing Nick Saban's just losing the edge, man. The things he tolerates, but you can't coach them like you used to, like Mike was coached. You can't treat players like that now, man. They're worth $1 million.
That's right.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. It's getting hard to watch. It's getting hard to watch, man. I can't. The way we lost that game, letting a quarterback gallop 31 yards on the first play. Did you see what Toa did on that play?
His eyes are closed, weren't they?
Head first into a 340-pound offensive tackle. He's shooting a BB gun at a freight train. What good did you do? He took himself out of that play. I was like, and I called that tight end catch you as soon as that big tight end went in motion. I said, there it is. Nobody went with him. I don't know what to do, man. I ain't no football coach, but it's getting hard to watch, boys.
Absolutely. Well, brother,
You tell me what you think. I mean, I think Nick Saban's losing the edge, man. I didn't think I would ever say that, but he's just, man, dude, he's transmitting, and these new breed of football players ain't receiving.
Nope.
And it's obvious by the way they're playing. Undisciplined. Y'all have a good night,
You too,
man.
brother. Thanks for the call.
Anyway.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mike, before you give me your response, and Bo, when did pass interference become a reviewable call?
Man, that is new.
That came
about 2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago. When you remember when that guy he hit the guy before the ball was even thrown to him, and they ended up losing their championship game and couldn't go to the Super Bowl. That's when they changed it after that.
I just find it funny how it all of a sudden popped up tonight in one of the most critical moments of the game. You know, we were able to convert on that play, but it blew my mind that now it's a reviewable call. So, but anyway, fellas, is Coach Saban losing his edge? Is this something that we need to talk about now, or is it too soon, or what do you think? Where are we on this issue?
I personally, I don't think he's losing his edge. I think Coach Saban a businessman, dog. We got too many external things going on. These commercials, he getting his money up. He got his bread up. I remember the only commercial Coach Saban did when I was playing was them Monday night when he had to go talk to the fan club, you know.
Right.
I see him on the, you know.
You can't forget about the Chevrolet deal, but he owned Mercedes.
And just bought a new Ferrari. So I ain't saying that he ain't lost it. He got too many things. Look, Coach Saban told us a long time ago, man, you can only be great at one thing at one time. If you're gonna be he said you can't be a great boyfriend and a great football player. You got to pick one. That didn't register with me. I thought I could do both. I didn't realize you can't be no ladies man and be a good football player, man. Something gonna come up short. Some people just got it. I had some teammates that had to burn and can do it, stay out all night long, come in and don't miss a beat, but they can't read a book or put a complete sentence together. And you got guys like Primetime who can just do it all. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. And Coach Saban is a computer, man, which means he's a system. If he don't do things a certain way, bro, he is by the book. But right now, bro, I think he just got too many things going on. He's going to have to cut some things off, man. He's going to have to cut that nose off to save his face if he want to win another one.
And that's one of the things that I think has led to kind of a detriment is that he's more of a CEO now rather than the hands-on guy he used to be.
Yeah. And that's business one-on-one. That's Tony. At some point, you got to have an exit strategy. And like I said, I read a lot of the books that Coach Saban talk about, man. Buddy, he is smart. He is calculated in every move. But I feel like right now, it's too many opportunities out here for him because he got his money up. He gonna buy Tuscaloosa in a minute.
You're right. Well, let's go ahead and take this caller. We have some folks been waiting on for a long time. Guys, we really appreciate you sticking with us. Again, state your name, where you're calling from. Tell us what you think, then hop off so you can hear these guys' response. Welcome on to the show. You're on live with Justin Riley, Bo Scarbrough, and Mike McCoy. What you got for us tonight?
Justin, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Oh, my gosh, Justin, this is so awesome. Mike from Syracuse. I called a couple years ago. It's so cool to be on with some legends. This is awesome. So I'll be quick. So tonight, I have to admit, I didn't watch the entire game. My wife bought a DVD, and I had to watch the DVD, or at least fake I was watching the DVD, and then sneakily watch the game on my phone. So I didn't see the whole game. So I got to preface with that. The fire that I saw out of Brian Kelly, you just don't. It's cool to see, arguing everything. It's just, as an alumni, it's great. It's great to see, right? And I wish we still had that. And again, to me, sports is cyclical, right? You can't be on top every single year, right? I just try to look back at that perspective. Like when I was there, when we were there, Justin, we went 4 games, right? 4 games. And we still are the best program in the country, right? This is in my mind. There's just some adjustments we have to make. Like that's my thing. Like the world is not like coming down, right? Just some adjustments that need to be made, and I have faith that our coaching staff can do that. And if they can't, then I have faith in Coach Saban that he will make those adjustments. And I also have faith that he did say if he feels that the program that he is making the program worse than it needs, worse than it needs to be, or I'm saying that wrong, but if he's the detriment to the program, he'll step away, right? There's just one thing. You see a lot of these programs, these legendary coaches, they don't know when to leave. And that's just one thing. Is it getting close to that? I don't know. But just some thoughts. Like if someone does stay too long, that's another problem because then it really does tank the program. But again, I have faith. The world is not ending. It's second loss of the season. We still have a lot of season to go. Justin, I just look at it from that perspective. I was there. I witnessed many years of Alabama stink, right? And yeah, it's a couple games here and there, but I do think we will get the ship together because the last couple of we've had some seasons here and there within all of this winning where we did make some missteps and we always did come out back on top. So that's what I have to say. But it was disappointing. The team doesn't look like it used to look. But again, I still have faith that things will get fixed. I will jump off the line, and I appreciate everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that. More of a more upbeat and positive spin on things. But as far as adjustments, Mike, the thing is that we've been making adjustments for 3 or 4 years now, Bo, and you can agree to that too. And that there are no adjustments being made. In the past, we've been able to get away with a lot more because we've been able to out-athlete people, and the playing field wasn't quite what it is now. Now, the playing field is becoming a lot more level. A lot more teams are becoming better. They're able to benefit from the transfer portal and NIL. So it's not just the heavyweights like Alabama or Ohio State ruling the roost and able to just run over people. It's changed dramatically, and it takes a little bit more now to be able to stay on top.
That's because every coach at all those schools that is Power 5 came from Coach Saban. They run a Coach Saban system. They stay underneath him long enough to learn it from point A to point B to point C, to know what's going on, to learn do the fourth quarter system, to do the discipline system, the leadership system, the hold the people accountable system. And get some coaches in there who gonna coach the players the way that they want them to be coached, the way that they seen at Alabama. So they going to get those. They saw the way how Coach Saban recruited, so they going to get those same guys that Coach Saban used to get, bigger 3-star, 4-stars, turning them into first round draft pick like Georgia did. Had 7, 5, 6, 7 first round draft pick out of their whole. And guess what? Kirby Smart was over there. Coach Cochran over there. Coach Cochran been with Kirby and Coach Cochran been with Coach Saban since LSU days. Of course they know the system in and out. Of course they know when to put these guys in shells and when to put these guys in full pads. Of course they know how to practice when the bye week come. They just using Coach Saban's system, but putting their own spin to it, and it turning out pretty good, and they using it against them. And they running the same 4-2-5 defense that we running. The same thing. Every team that we play, they line up in a 4-2-5.
Right.
And that's what's going on. They coming to Alabama, playing on the Coach Saban for a year or two, learning the system, getting a head coach job at another place, and running the same system, and end up being successful. Billy Napier doing the same thing down in Florida. It's just everywhere. Lane Kiffin, same thing down at Ole Miss. Steve Sarkisian, same thing in Texas. He running the same plays that he ran at Alabama. Jet sweeps and screens and quick slants, and it working. Cause you can't cover a 3-yard slant that fast when you got guys playing 5-yard deep.
And like Bo said, man, I can't argue with none of it, man. The difference is the guys that Coach Saban get in, man, is is their phone call guys. You got over there because somebody got you over there. You didn't get over there because you interviewed for the job or they called you or you were sought out. Kirby, Pruitt, those guys played ball. It's a difference.
Mhm.
Coach Saban played ball now. It's Stone Age now, but he played ball. You know what I'm saying? So he understands what goes into it. When you got coaches that don't have a pedigree or understand what the SEC means and what that Bama standard is, what discipline equals freedom. And most of these coaches, they're not in it for the freedom. You know what I'm saying? They're not in it for the long haul. They're looking to come in. Let me do my 2-year prison sentence, and I'm finna get out of here and you take me a head job somewhere. They ain't willing to learn. Again, why would you let guys go like a Sal, like a Coach Williams, like a Burton Burns, guys that's gonna ride with you that ain't looking to take your job, ain't looking to compete against you, but ride with you.
And
Sometimes
those were the guys that didn't ask for a raise.
all right.
Mhm.
But you giving all these, and you ain't getting them near as much money as you getting these boys.
No
You know
kidding.
what I'm saying?
And
they loyal.
every
Let-
running back that Coburn had played in the league.
Right.
Before he got there, he was at Clemson. He was with CJ
Yes.
Spiller them.
Yes, when they had 1 and 23, did 1-2 punch.
All right.
D Piggott says every damn post game we hear these phrases. We have to improve. We got to get things cleaned up. Anxiety. Forget all that damn talking. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing about it. One thing I can tell people again, Coach Saban is a businessman. He gonna be on the latest science. He gonna feel whatever the new terminology, the new thing is. He's gonna, if it's cutting edge, he's gonna try to jump on it. Sometimes the main thing got to be the main thing, and the main thing is the goddamn win. All this anxiety, deal with that after the game. I don't want to hear about it now. Oh, my head hurt. I got butterflies. Man, you don't.
We wish somebody would say they got excited when they finna play a game. And we
get your salt.
And we done been out there in that hot sun at 2:30 to 5:30. You crazy?
All right.
Listen, let's take a quick caller, guys.
10 minutes at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick caller. Welcome in live to the show. You're on with Justin, Mike, and Bo. If you would state your name, where you're calling from, tell us what you want to talk about. Then hang up and listen so you can hear what Bo and Mike had to say.
Hey, good evening, fellas. This is William. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I'm going to run through this real quick.
Sure.
One, great show. Love you guys. Great show. And Roll Tide. I'm going to just run through this. The coordinators are junk. Toa is junk. One of the reasons why I love Bama, it motivated me to become a Marine because it was about that fighting warrior spirit, and I don't see that in Bama today. I'm really disappointed, but I am positive that they can turn it around. The keys to success are the same, no matter if it's soccer, softball, football, or underwater basket weaving. Discipline, persistence, influence, coaching, personal mission statements, belief, goal setting. I just don't see those things. We shouldn't be shocked that the truth manifests itself today because we saw it from the beginning because we're not seeing the keys to success and we really haven't seen them. We just kind of been dabbling. And I just haven't seen Bama. I haven't seen Bama football, the same thing that made me join the Marines in 1987. So hopefully what we learned today in 2022 is knowledge. In 2023, we make it wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in action. So I hope that is what happens. I hope we move forward. And in my closing statements, all I'm going to leave you fellas with is look at what happened with Bobby Bowden. Go back and look at it and compare it. And Mike, I just want to say that what you were bringing up about that scripture, it's 1 Corinthians 1, where God talked about he used base things and despised things to defeat the strong or the smart, and he used weak things to defeat the strong. Have a good evening. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Good call. Good call.
Man, brother, hey, he a Marine, but it sound like a pastor. He got me juiced over here.
I know, right?
I know, right? He was all calm and collected.
Look, I know y'all can't be on much longer, so I want to ask this question before I let y'all go. I'll still take some calls just to make sure everybody gets their voice heard. But where we go from here, this is the first time in the playoff era where we don't really essentially have anything to play for other than just pride and, beating our crosstown rival Auburn and maybe playing for a New Year's Six bowl. Where do we go from here? What's the mentality going to be like now that we don't have anything in line?
I say this, we don't have a chance at the playoffs and to play for the national championship. So we the next game we have to start getting, ready for what's up next for next year. We had to prepare, we had to be more disciplined. Guys have to know what they're doing. They got to be dialed in. They got to get in their playbook, man. And like, I ain't gonna call this player name, but he told me that some of the players over there don't even know the defense. They can't even learn it. They can't even pick it up. That's why half of them not playing. Like the one that we expected to play that transferred in, they not playing. They taking up space that we could have got a real deal freshman from and built them into that. If we gonna get juniors that doesn't know how to play football, X's and O's, what are we doing? Like we not building a built by Bama. We building a built by East Mississippi, Kentucky, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys doesn't know the standard when they come to Alabama because they didn't get recruited by Alabama. So they don't know what goes on. Like they don't know the process and the mountain climbing and all the other shit that go into it. Like the only thing they coming over there looking at, I'm gonna play one season here and I'm gonna get drafted. I'm gonna be gone. That's the only thing they worried about. That's it. Get my money and I'm out. They ain't worried about the tradition. They ain't worried about the national championship. They ain't worried about the SEC championship. They ain't worried about beating Tennessee or Auburn. They want their money so they can get up out of there.
Well said. You're absolutely right. Like I said, man, people don't understand the culture, and people who don't play the game miss the point you just made in regards to, man, it's just them not understanding what it takes, not getting that playbook. You don't just get put on the field because you have all this talent and ability. You have to actually earn your way onto the field. And they're sitting there asking, why haven't we seen such and such? Why hasn't this guy been on the field? Is Coach Saban losing his mind? No, there's a reason why they're not seeing the field. If you don't know what you're doing when you're out there, you're a liability.
If I can't trust you in practice, how can I trust you in the game?
Hey, and Coach Saban, and listen, and Mike, Coach Saban used to say that every year. If I can't trust you to go to class, and I can't trust you to, you know what I'm saying, be here on time, how could I trust you to know what to do on the field if you can't go to class?
Think about how fast people used to run when you know you got a team meeting. Think about how fast. I'm talking about dudes used to be sprinting, full out sprinting.
Half naked coming in the meeting room.
Getting dressed. Coaches coming in there running. It ain't that same no more. It the same. It ain't. Man, please. Them boys do what they want, when they want, how they want, man. Again, I'm going to tell what it is. Like, now, Bo dropped the microphone when he laid out that blueprint. Those guys are not disciplined. If I'm Coach Saban, I'm looking for 4-year guys. Maybe 1 or 2. I will have a cap on the portal guys I'm trying to go after and go get. And I'm just going to ride or die with what I got. At least you know this kid here for 4 years, he invested in that program.
Yep, yeah, you're right on that.
Coach, we usually get 2 guys from a transfer school. Jay Reed was one of them. Derek Dieter was one of them. And the Mullen receiver guy, he was one of them. Them guys came in and played right off the jump.
Richard Mullaney?
Yeah, Richard Laney came in and started right off the jump.
But again, Bo said it best. And I'm telling y'all, man, like the Marine said, that discipline is everything, man. If these boys ain't disciplined, and these boys that you get in these portals, they transfer, they come to do 1 year and out. They looking for a one-hit wonder, dog. They ain't looking to be there for no 4 years. They ain't looking to be there for 3 years.
Right.
But man, what they need to do, they need to get Coach Saban need to he needs to do a reset button. He need to find some roles for older play. I don't know. He always next level, but he needs to think about 5 or 6 guys that he know he can count on that he need to bring in from the past. Somebody like a Bo. Hey man, this is gonna be your job description. This is your job title. I need you to do this. This is how the running back's gonna operate. I don't know, but it needs to shake up something. They need to have church over there.
Man, we ain't got the TJs and the Coach Martins and the Coach Stevens no more.
Nope.
Hey, they were gangsters though, and they were all
them boys will come beat on your door until you come answer.
Hey, what Coach TJ? Get your ass up.
I'm finna squat jump your ass.
Speaking of coming back, Ice Trade want to know if you guys will come back and be coaches.
Hey, they paying. Hey man, I'm a businessman, dog. You pay me, I come. Everybody know. I'm a businessman.
Hey, what Coach Saban say when you first get there?
Everybody got a number.
That's right. You're gonna leave as a man and know how to handle your responsibility and be a businessman. So if you want me to come back, Mike, you know what to say. Ching ching.
Hey, and they need, and I understand that they actually have been reaching out to some of the guys, but too little, too late. One of those guys is going to be on Tuesday night. DJ Hall is going to come on. Yeah, he told me that they have been asking him to come speak because he apparently can get people motivated. But you know what? He should have already been there. Some of you guys,
I've been saying that for years. They didn't even have the respect to even put his profile picture. It was years. I'm talking about this man. I ain't never seen this dude drop a pass.
I don't think I ever saw him drop a pass either.
Never. And people don't even know his legacy. I'm talking about everything I know about being a receiver. DJ showed me. Well, why I watched and learned from him. And I mean, he made me into who I was. You know what I'm saying? So,
and we were going what 7-5 at the time.
All
right. We got one last question, and I'll let you guys go because I know y'all have things to do, but it's kind of late. Jamie Wilhelm says they want to ask you who's going to be our quarterback next year.
Listen, every year it's a battle for it. I can't tell you who's going to be the quarterback because our backup might not even be the starter next year, even though he's the backup right now. He may not even be the starter. So it can go a lot of different ways. What happened this year is not gonna play a role until next year. You got to start all the way back over, from all the way from fourth quarter to training, to simulating training camp, to summer, to real deal training camp, and that last week of practice before you get into that team who you finna play. That's who you'll know who the starter is. But Mike, you know how Coach Saban chooses his starter. Somebody who consistent, who can manage the game.
All he gonna say is consistency is the key, and I don't care who you are. You could be, bro. I was a starter. I started 3 years, and I was rotating in and out on my last year because I was in the doghouse. And I'm like, I've been here a long, man. Coach Saban don't care nothing about that.
And it's hard to get out that doghouse,
bro. Right. I stayed in there. My nickname, bro. You already know when you get that private phone call. You already know what it is. You already know. And then when Coach he hit that button to close the door. Coach Saban need to see you in the morning. Don't go to class.
I got to address 2 things I saw in this chat throughout the conversation tonight, and then also something I saw on Twitter here recently. People had the audacity to say that Will Anderson and Bryce Young were the 2 most overrated players in college football. Let me tell you something, Bama fans. If it wasn't for Will Anderson and Bryce Young, we wouldn't be in a position of winning that we are in right now. Just because we have a bad game and the team does not fulfill the expectations, I said team does not lessen what they have contributed on this field. Bryce Young has been carrying this team the entire season. He just couldn't do it by himself anymore. Will Anderson has been carrying that defense the entire season. He couldn't do it by himself anymore. So for you to make a claim that those 2 guys are the most overrated players, you don't need to be watching football, and you probably should close out all your social media accounts right now.
Microphone drop. I ain't got nothing to say on that.
Me neither.
All right,
well, for
fellas.
my yard dogs and lap dogs,
Yeah,
got
go ahead.
Will Anderson and Bryce Young is not vocal leaders. They're examples leaders. They lead by example on the field. Those guys is not vocal. We don't have one vocal leader. It's you can lead by example for so long, only for so long, dog. And at the end of the day, you gonna have to say something they gonna get your team fired up. Cause this time of the year, man, everybody hurting, everybody beat up, everybody ready for the season to be over with. But you just gotta have that mindset that, hey, we got to play 15 games.
That's right.
You're right. Well, guys, I appreciate you being on. Before I let y'all go, Mike, as always, I'm going to ask you for your lap dogs and your yard dogs. And Bo, I want you to give me yours as well after Mike drops his names.
My lap dogs, the entire offensive line and the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. My yard dogs, Jahmyr Gibbs. Hey, man, you did it, dog. Hey, you that guy. You that guy. And Bryce, I don't care what everybody say Bryce didn't play a good game. I don't think Bryce had any help. He's not the tallest guy, and when LSU had a great scheme, they pressure him right up the middle. They know he's not a tall guy, and they collapse the pocket constantly. He did what he had to do, and him and Jahmyr Gibbs, they were the reason why we were in the game. And the tight end, besides the fumble, other than that, man, I think those three guys had a solid game.
Gotcha. Bo, what you got? Yard dogs and lap dogs.
Man, my lap dogs, I'm gonna have to say the same thing Mike said, O-line, because I'm a big fan of running the ball. And then I've been trying to stay off of Jordan Battle because he's one of my favorites, but that last play at the end,
oh my God,
that's something that you got to know football to be in the right position for that. So he kind of disappointed me with that play. And then I'm gonna have to go with Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm gonna have to go with Jahmyr all around.
Hey, I like your picks, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all staying on this long with me. I'm going to stay on here and take a few more callers, but we'll see you on Tuesday night for the Bama Standard. And again,
peace.
DJ Hall's going to be with us, so y'all get ready.
Yeah, peace.
All right, guys, peace. All right, folks, I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer, take some calls because you guys have been troopers waiting to get your turn. Welcome in to the TDA Post Game Show. You're on live with Justin Riley. Go ahead and state your name. And
how you do?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing? How you doing, Coach Jess? Now, I've been waiting patiently. I'm glad you get a chance to take my call.
Yes, sir.
So, we've been listening about the coaches and all that, but we know playing at Bama, just like Bo was saying, coaches gonna do their job by calling the plays. But as a player, you got to be able to execute the player. And yes, I'm gonna talk about Ballard tonight a little bit. I've been watching Ballard play this year. He hasn't looked like the same Ballard I've been watching play the last few years. He's been out of sync. He was on tackling. The dude dragged him down the field. You helped him up. When you ever see a Bama player just help somebody up? You know what I'm saying? Like, help the guy up. We too nice. We've been saying this for a while. Way too nice. Our offensive play calling is horrible. We got all that speed on that side of the ball. And then I just want to go and talk about the 2-point conversion plays real quick.
Okay.
And I haven't wrong the name of them out. You got Jalen Miller over there. You got you got some power back. We actually do got two good power back, Deuce and number 5. We got both of them. We're not using our big offensive linemen like we should. We should overload that side. You got 2 blockers in the front of the quarterback. Just power the ball in, power run the ball in. Did you see the play they just ran? LSU quarterback ran a power run. They faked the tailback. He ran right behind the tailback. It's just a lot of things that just look bad tonight. We look like, and I hate to say this, and I don't even like to talk about the football team. I don't even like to talk about our team bad, but we look like a Vanderbilt team tonight. You know what I'm saying? We just all out of sort. Didn't do nothing right. And everybody want to say Coach Nick Saban losing his edge. No, I think what Nick trying to do this year, he's trying to show his players you could be talented all you want to be, but if you don't get prepared for these games, this is what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that he's been saying those things for so long, but I don't think the players bought into what he is saying. Now is staring them right in the face. You're out of the playoffs. You're out of the SEC contention. You know, where do we go from here? Do you finally understand what I've been preaching for so long? And a couple of points that you made, I want to address. Then during the entire game, I was asking why didn't we get an extra lineman in there in some of those with some of those runs? Like I said earlier, fourth down conversions. Why we line up in shotgun? Just things like that just don't make sense to me. I don't claim to be an offensive guru or know X's and O's like some of my co-hosts do who played the game, but stuff like that just doesn't make sense to me. And you mentioned Jalen Milroe. Why don't we have any packages with him where we utilize his skill set, bring him in
Exactly.
in a couple of plays just to throw a wrinkle in there, keep defenses honest and guessing. But we're not doing that, and that Lane Kiffin would have done something like that. Steve Sarkisian would
Yeah,
have done
you took
something
it out of
like
my
that.
mouth. Yes.
Um,
Can I say something when you get finished talking?
Yeah,
Because I want
you
to
go
say
right
something
ahead.
about Jalen Monroe. Okay, we watched Jalen Monroe last game, and he threw a nice pass to the number 8 that don't ever play for some odd reason. Hit him dead in the numbers with a deep out route cut. We could use him like that sometime. Like, okay, they're gonna automatically he gonna come in and run the ball anyway. Okay, they're gonna drop the box. Okay, now let's get a double move or a stutter move and go up the field and try to get a touchdown. I haven't seen no zig routes this year. I hadn't seen no stutter routes. And I ain't talking about with the outside receiver. We got too many fast guys like number 10, number 17. All these guys is super fast, and we ain't running no plays. All we do is arbor motion. Don't never get a ball to them in arbor motion. I just don't understand it. We don't run the ball near enough. And then everybody just think Gibbs is supposed to make a play.
Every play.
What a tight end. What are tight ends that come in motion and don't mind by going downhill and exploding on somebody? What is it? I don't see it anymore. This is not a Bama team that we normally see. We got too much talent to just let Bryce Young season just went down the same. We know he's not coming back next year. He gone. Will ain't coming back next year. And I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to tell you somebody else might not come back next year. Dallas Turner.
Well, he's a sophomore, so he has one more year to go unless he
got one more year? Okay.
Yeah, unless he wants to sit out. But he doesn't strike me as a guy who'd sit out.
Okay, so he'll be back then. Because if he could, he probably would be gone. Because he'll be good enough to play in the NFL. But I just don't see it. None of our linebackers want to hit nobody. Everybody want to hug. Everybody want to just play fussy. Don't nobody want to hit no damn body. Like the old players saying, like, we all play football. And playing football, you do not want to go out there doing the summer, them 2 a days, them 3 a days, and show up like this and just lose. Brian Kelly, to me, yeah, he coached a great game tonight. I got to give it to him. But I was telling some of my friends, my cousin that had, like, Eddie Jackson played there. That's my cousin. And I said, what are safeties that look back and get the ball, that want to make plays on the ball? We don't never have a safety take a chance on the ball. Sometimes you just got to make a play, especially to watch film. You just got to know how to make plays. And I'm just disappointed in our safety playing right now. The corners, they really didn't play too bad tonight. And they didn't get by them too bad tonight.
Well, you really can't hold that against them because the defense did all they could for as long as they could. When the offense wouldn't keep them off the field, at some point, the defense was going to loosen up and give up some things. I had some people who were commenting about Eli Ricks and saying that he ain't it. No, you're not watching football because until that one of those later drives where he did give up some plays, you hadn't heard his name the entire night. And when you hadn't heard his name the entire night, that means he did his job.
Thank you. And we down there like y'all was saying all night. We got 9 points, and we're within the 5-yard line with 9 points. That's 3 field goals. You tell me we can't punch the ball in and go forward on 4 and we got to go all out. We in LSU, we in Death Valley. Just get a ball to our running backs. Like, I don't even, Gibbs that guy. I like Gibbs. I feel that if they can get somebody in front of him to block, he can make a move to get in the end zone. He can make a move to get there.
But we're relying too much. We're relying on him to bail us out too much. And as far as the run game, people talk about how we don't run the ball. Well, we do, but the problem is we can't really get that run established because we go away from it. We don't allow the backs to get hot and begin to open up holes and run through people. So it's really hard to get something established when you run it 1 out of every 10 or 15 plays. That's just simple.
Exactly.
But man, I appreciate the call. I got to jump on with some other folks, man. But definitely appreciate, man. Tune in Monday night and definitely call in on In My Own Words and check us out on the Bama Standard on Tuesday night.
Hey, we'll do. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Interesting calls, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I want to pose a question. I've been seeing this mentioned in the chat tonight. Does Bryce Young, hang things up? Because quite honestly, he has nothing more to play for other than pride right now. Me personally, I want to say that he's a competitor, and he's not a guy who's just going to bail on his team. But you also have to consider his NFL future. You have to consider the possibility of an injury. Right now, I think he's playing hurt. If you watched, his throws were not Bryce-esque tonight, and I know that's not a word, something I just made up. But I think that arm is still bothering him. It hadn't quite healed up. So that being said, guys, what do you think? Do you think Bryce plays the rest of the season, or do you think he kind of hangs back and plays it safe to better his career after football, after Alabama? Me personally, I don't think that he's going to do that. I think he's a competitor. He's going to go down swinging. I hate that arguably the best quarterback that we've ever had at this university, and we've had some great ones, so I'm not trying to take away anything from what they've done. It's sad when he's not going to walk out of here having won a national championship himself. Yes, he won one as a backup in 2020 with Mac Jones being ahead of him, but that doesn't count, at least not to him, because he's a competitor. It's just sad that he's not going to have that accolade to leave Alabama with. So I'm going to take the next call. Welcome on the show. You're here live with Justin Riley. If you would, state your name and where you're calling from.
Kevin, Dallas, Georgia. How you doing this evening, Justin?
Hey, Kevin, man. Hanging in there, trying to use you guys as therapy to kind of work my way through this loss that, quite frankly, shouldn't have happened. But, hey, I'm here to hear your thoughts. What you got for us?
Okay, well, I would try to say I'm going to do it in 250 words or less, but that's a lie, Justin. That's a lie. And that's the reason why, I called and had to listen to Mike, Bo, as well as yourself, and that is, gentlemen, as far as, Justin, as far as our OCs are concerned, as far as the OC and the DC is concerned, Bill O'Brien, he's out of there. But as far as Golden is concerned, Golden's going to stay there because there's one thing that he can do, Bama fans, that no one else can do, and that is recruit the blankety blank out of Louisiana. So, that's his saving grace. It's not X's and O's, but being able to as far as recruit Louisiana.
Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Let
me say something real quick now. I'll let you get to this point. But at what point do we stop paying him money to win recruiting trophies if it's not translating onto the field?
That is the $1 million question, and honestly, it should start now. Responsibility should be delegated to other people. Yes, you can be as far as the DC, but you can be the DC in name only, and we need to get some doggone consultants in there that can do the X's and O's. Because, that's his only strength, Justin, is recruiting. As far as when it comes to dogs, University of Alabama don't have any dogs as far as on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. Let's do a roll call real quick. Anthony Lucas, Shamar Stewart, Walter Nolan. Those are 3 defensive linemen that Alabama were in line for that wind up playing for A&M, which they may be in the transfer portal. Stay tuned. Devon Bowie, Denver Harris, A&M DBs may be in the transfer portal. And lastly but not leastly, Evan Stewart, A&M wide receiver, which he hasn't dropped anything. And lastly but not least, when it comes to tonight's game, let's go back about a year and a half ago. On Saban's birthday, it was a guy that was from Baton Rouge that was trying to make a decision, and it was a heart-wrenching decision. Am I going to stay home or I'm going to go to the University of Alabama? And everybody thought that he was going to go to the University of Alabama. He stayed at home. Yes, you guessed it. That's Sage Ryan. So saying all that, all the dogs that could be at the University of Alabama now are playing in the SEC, Justin, but they're not playing for the University of Alabama. And as we all know, when it comes to a winning team and the teams that have won national championships at the University of Alabama, you have to have 4 or 5 guys that are a little bit straight of center. Because one thing I have to correct you all on, Justin, when it comes to football, basketball is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. And until we get to the time as far as the University of Alabama that it becomes more of a collision sport than a contact sport, we're not going to win anything. And last but not least, as far as Tua may be Justin leading in tackles, but I bet if you got a stat right now as far as who's leading in missed tackles, it would be Tua too.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And it's funny, if you haven't been watching the Bama Standard, that is a gospel that Marvin Constant has been preaching relentlessly, not just for this season, but last season too. He knows what it means to play middle linebacker at the University of Alabama. He gave his career to the University of Alabama by stopping LSU in 1999. That was his last play he ever played. When he sees Henry To'oTo'o going out there and putting on whatever it is he puts on, it pisses him smooth off. And like I said, if you hadn't watched our show, I encourage you to do so.
I have.
Okay, so you know exactly where he's coming from, and you're just stating it here. So no, stat sheets don't mean anything if it's not getting things done. And those who don't understand beyond a stat sheet, again, I've said this in regards to other statements tonight, you don't understand football.
Indeed. And one quick thing, Justin, as far as in order to go forward, you have to go back for a second. And one thing that was telling last year in the national championship game when Bryce threw that pick six, the only person that tried to break their neck to catch the Georgia defender was his roommate, Trayshawn Holden.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else that you saw that was on the field when that took place transferred out. Now, let's go forward. These next 3 games, yes, the University of Alabama has something to play for. No, we're not talking about as far as the doggone national championship, but we are talking about as far as who is going to stay and who's going to leave. Because the one thing that's going to be, and I would say more so on the offensive side than the defensive side, the transfer portal. There's going to be some guys transferring out. And the reason why is not because they can't play, but it's because, hey, they weren't utilized. I mean, it'll be like, for instance, shoot, Justin, if I came to your house right now and went into the refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
you may have a variety of non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages that I can drink.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what's the point of you having all that in your refrigerator and you're not going to use it? The same as far as the University of Alabama. Why do we have all this talent on offense and we're not utilizing it? I mean, I heard Mattress Mike, talking about Christian Leary. Christian Leary might as well be in witness protection program. I haven't seen Christian Leary on the field in about 3 games.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Justin, that haven't been on the doggone field.
Well, one of my things is it was a running joke, but it's not really a joke. It's sad. I was thinking that in regards to Tyler Harrell that we were being catfished because we weren't seeing him anywhere in the field. But yeah, it's guys like Christian Leary who arguably have the best speed on the team, and Isaiah Bond and JoJo Earl, who doesn't get a look tonight until at the very end, made a great catch. So hats off to him. But and people have the nerve to ask or make a statement that we don't have any wide receivers that can't take the top off of defense. We do. We're not using them.
Exactly. But the thing is that, hey, they have something to play for. It's going to be a matter of what you're going to see for these next 3 weeks, Justin, is those guys that's going to truly buy in and it's going to be a part of this program for the next X amount of years. But the one thing that I don't want to see, Justin, if you're an upperclassman in the University of Alabama on the defensive side, please, if you love the University of Alabama football team, don't come back. And that's D-line, linebackers, secondary. If you're an upperclassman, please leave. Give all these 5 and 4 stars that I know that they're hungry and should be PO'd right now, give them the opportunity to shine. And then as far as on the defensive side, as far as on defensive play calling, Golden, your strength is recruiting. Let somebody else be the doggone DC. Don't let your pride. I mean, hey, your pocketbook is not hurting. Let someone else do the doggone play calling, and that's it, Justin. I mean, thank you very much for entertaining me. Greatly appreciate it. Hey, I'll be tuning in as far as Monday and Tuesday. Continue doing what you're doing. Have a blessed evening.
You as well. Thank you for the call. Yeah, great call. But I am truly just kind of wondering what kind of attitude are we going to have going forward, against Ole Miss next week, which that's always a tough game, regardless of what anybody says. They don't give Ole Miss credit, but Oxford's a tough place to play. And Lane Kiffin wants to beat Nick Saban. So they're going to be up for it. Game day was supposed to be there. Had we won tonight, they may still go. I don't know what the marquee game is next weekend. But that's going to be a tough place to win if our whole heart is into it. So that's why I was asking the question, where are we going to be mentally these last 3 regular season games? And what kind of leadership are we going to see from the upperclassmen, like the last caller was saying, if nothing's on the line other than just pride? Are they still going to go hard? Are they still going to try to, coach these young guys up and try to get them to play hard? Or are they just going to be lax? It's a question I'm going to definitely love to hear an answer for to this next few weeks. But let me go ahead and take the next caller. Welcome on live. I appreciate you being with us for this long. If you would state your name, where you're calling from.
This is Jay from Sheffield.
Man, I am so sorry that you were just now getting on, because we could have used you earlier. But, man, I am going to give you the floor because I enjoy your calls, and you always bring the truth. So, Pastor, go ahead and deliver the message.
I mean, we said it all. We've been saying it all. I had to ask my folks. I'm watching the game. My family. I'm like, are we holding the towel right now? Like, do we need to throw it in and get Saban up out of there or something? Like, this whole season been so confusing to me. Just in how everything just set up, man. I'm coming into the season. I'm like, the first 4 games, this Gibbs dude should have him 1,000 yards. I'm talking crazy numbers like that. Why? We ain't playing nobody, man. Man, we supposed to go. Oh man, it's so hard to even just think about it, because this ain't Alabama football at all. You don't see no love out there at all, man. Like, do you see the Alabama love? Like I remember Reggie them getting on each other and all of that, but then you remember, even if he stopped the guy for 2 yards, I'm still picking him up, loving him, smacking him on his butt, smacking him on the hip. Yeah, let's ride, Dad. Hell yeah, good lick. Now, you don't see none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no more love at Bama no more.
Yeah, and Bo,
we already know.
Bo actually talked about this past show on the Bama Standard, where you don't have those guys, like you said, smacking each other on the butt or getting in their face, just cheering what they just did and just keeping them hype. It's like they're just going through the motions, and there's no passion behind what they're doing. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out here and do this job. Okay, next play, hey, I'm going to do this. It's not – there is no hunger or fire coming out of these guys at all.
Yeah, that there's very weird to me. I don't know. When I played sports, I ain't never had nothing to say to you as the opponent. For what? You just doing your job. But me and you, Justin, we into it on the field. And I hope you, if I can't beat the double team, I hope you as the linebacker be like, hey, fat boy, what is you doing? What is you doing? That could be easy for you. You see what I'm saying? That's just how I grew up. If I knew my folks behind me, they was gonna be on me. So I don't get just football period. Like, Nick, I don't want to say is he too old, because I know he ain't too old, but is he like, do you not want to change? Because Georgia football, what they doing is exactly what we used to do. Sped up, man. They ain't did nothing but just sped the offense up, man.
I agree. And, what you're talking about as far as getting on to each other, that's another aspect that's missing too. And this is something that Reggie Ragland talked about a couple of weeks ago. This is something that Marvin Constant talks about every week. And you know what he says, that if you're not doing your job, you're getting off my field. You're a liability. I don't have time for this. You're messing things up. You're gone. And, you know, I think it was the 2016 playoffs. They had a situation like that with a player. The defense stopped practice. They refused to do anything else. And they got that guy off the field and they sent him home. We don't have that anymore. We have the little anxiety timeouts and the support circles.
Yeah, I'm about like you too now. Now I coach with my team. My son 11U, 12U team now. All this anxiety, all that I ain't saying it ain't real, but you need your ass whooped. It's just that simple. Anxiety ain't made you go out there and man, you see that tackle DeMarco Hellum gave up on the running back, man? What?
Oh, you mean that little two-hand touch thing that he tried to do? That was pathetic. And I'm not. I ain't never seen anything like that before.
This supposed to be an Alabama safety. When you think about Alabama safeties, man, Jordan Battle and DeMarco Hellum, man, come on now. Come on. Ain't no way these last 2 years I ain't just said, oh, I'm gonna put Branch and Malachi back there, and y'all gonna have to sub in and out. We're gonna have to make this switch just to see what happened. Or I'm gonna just throw Christian Story out there. We used to see these things. That's why Bama was so floored, because you were looking, you would be like, dang, they got a freshman nose guard out there with the starting D line. Oh, daggone, yeah. Jonathan Allen did turn out to be that man. Why? Because he was in there. He did his job well enough, and you knew you could just trust the team around him to where, okay, man, hey, go out there and be Harold Perkins for a play. Just go spot the quarterback, man. You ain't got to do number one play. Go hit somebody. Come on, man. You ain't got to do number one something. Just go blow this hole up. Just do something.
That's it.
That's just one something, freshman. Oh, we too good for that. And told man, he too, man, the whole defense. We are even pretty now. I'm like, man, y'all boys too pretty for me. Like this Bama football is Bryce Harold running you down, the Perkins kid running you down. Why? Because I called in early and I said, get your cute ass on out of bounds, man. You want to tiptoe with the ball and look all cute and try to prance on out. But then when you hit the ground, you want to slam your hand all on the ground like you're mad. Well, you couldn't have been mad because you weren't trying to get out of bounds. You weren't trying to do nothing. You was trying to look good. I ain't never looked good and been mad at the same time. I guess I have because I'm just blessed like that. But I don't know, bro. I don't. Man, it's so this season is so confusing to me as a Bama fan. I'm 29, so just watching Bama football as a kid. I grew up in North Alabama, man. Man, Freddie Roach was the ideal something. You grew up playing football, you was like, I'm gonna be Freddie Roach. It's just that something. I'm gonna go to Alabama. I'm gonna be Freddie Roach. I played Pee Wee ball, high school ball. Brent Callaway, oh man, you effing did it, bro. You at Bama, bro. Hell yeah, like that's it. Like Reggie Ragland, we played against this man every year. Like, man, like I just feel like we need to lock down the state again, or just Southern players or something. I don't know. Just go back to just recruiting around the area like we used to when Nick first came, and just Bama, Florida, and a little bit of Texas boys, because all that. California. Now look at this California linebacker. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree with you.
Look at the California linebacker compared to the Bama line, to the Bama raised in Mississippi and Bama and Florida. Like I ain't, I'm not being racist. We talking football, man. Come on, man. You just saying that's just a different breed of ball out there, man.
It's definitely different.
A different breed of ball. You ain't getting hit like we was getting hit at 8.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
5. You see what I'm saying? You get this bred into you when you walking as a kid in the South. What you got? A football. Soon as you can walk, there's somebody gonna put a football in your hand. Yeah, it might not be like that in Cali. I don't know, man. And then Pete, Pete. I ain't never wanted him to be the coordinator, anyways. I was on the train of who the F is this guy and where did he come from?
I think a lot of us were on that same train, brother. You know, it was a very underwhelming hire, and like you, I sat there and said, "Who? Oh, he coached at Delta State before here. That's a Division II school in the middle of the Delta of Mississippi." Okay, and then Bill O'Brien gets hired. I'm like, huh? But he hadn't been successful anywhere.
Man.
So how are we gaining from these guys? I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna go out and apply for like an executive job somewhere or CEO of a company somewhere and let Pete Golding do the interview for me, because apparently he's a hell of a salesman because he got the job at Alabama. I mean,
I'm gonna just apply with Nick there. I'm gonna be coaching next year, y'all. I'm just gonna let Nick Gold and them do my talking for me, because this here, like, man, come on, man. Golden from the first time the man was here, everybody gave him an excuse, man, excuse after excuse. Oh, the linebackers, freshman linebackers. Man, come on, man. Them freshman linebackers, if you go back and watch they play, man, Shane Lee and Christian Harris was not playing like no freshman linebackers.
Right.
Them boys was playing like they had been out there for decades. Man, what? Them folks was wrecking, messing it up in the run game. What? Linebacker? Oh, no, this the coach for putting Shane Lee on this 6'5" tight end in a man-to-man situation. That was stupid of you, coach. You think he was going? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get what we get off on. Always all the players and you know what I'm saying? I understand. Like Toto, he got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's coaching to me. All that stuff like that, that's coaching, man. Ain't no way Henry gonna be in there, and I ain't seen Deontay Lawson all game. And I ain't seen Blacksire in a running situation. You know what I'm saying? Like subbing these guys out. If you go out there and miss a tackle, so what? You was out there, you gave it your all. That might have been the one play that something would have happened. But man, I ain't finna keep letting this guy just dive on the pile. And you know what I mean? Then the coach like come on, man, it's 3rd and 4. Your cornerbacks, they 5-10 yards behind the line. They off the ball like P. Golden. You know, I remember Draco Patrick them being a yard off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as you come to the line, as soon as you line up, everybody a yard off of. Damn, Bama ain't got but one safety deep. Oh well, you know you should have got the ball off faster because it's a sack party. Why? Because these folks right there mirroring you. You what was you gonna throw it? If you throw it, it's a pick or at least a deflection or something. But like, it's just so confusing, man. Because you had everything, man. You got D-line, you got linebackers. You supposed to have you like everything you wanted in a football team. That was supposed to be this year's team, man. This year, you talk about speed. We got 7 people. Everybody that love Bama can name right now that's running what a 4.25 or something crazy like that. Mm-hmm. And you ain't seen Bryce throw nothing past 30, 40 yards. Nothing. Like that don't make sense to me. Like
I'm right there with you.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Hey, 4 vertical guys, the 4 fastest people on the team this week. We just gonna line y'all up and whoever get over, we gonna keep doing that until they stop it. I mean, ain't that what Tennessee did to us?
That's essentially it. I think they ran basically the 3 same plays, and then they flipped it and then did it the other way, and they were able to do it.
Like they were playing a video game. Like
that was it.
I'm with Saban, but man, I feel like he needs to hire some players. Like, ain't D'Amico Ryans the coordinator for the Cardinals?
49ers.
Coordinator for the Cardinals?
He's the defense coordinator for the 49ers. But yeah, it'd be great to have him in there, no question. Well, brother, I need to get to some of these other
Yeah.
callers. I greatly appreciate you calling in. Always look forward to it, man. Have a great night and roll
Man,
tide.
roll tide, y'all. It ain't nowhere. We're gonna need a transfer quarterback for Soto, but roll tide, y'all.
Yes, sir. Good to have y'all still here with us. I'm going to take another caller. Welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging in as long as you have. You're on live TDA Post Game Show with Justin Riley. State your name and where you're calling from. Your own caller. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. If you would, try to call back in. Welcome to the show. State your name, where you're calling from. You're on live with Justin Riley on the TDA Post Game Show.
Hey, Justin, Mike from Trussville.
Hey, Mike, what's going on, brother?
Well, very frustrated. Worst coaching performance from Saban and coordinators under his tenure. But at the end of the day, we're seeing something that I'm not used to, and maybe we're just spoiled. The line of scrimmage. There's not an offensive lineman that could start at Georgia, and Will Anderson is the only defensive lineman that could start there. Georgia's the new Bama. They're probably going to win another championship this year. And I just kind of feel like it's slipping away. You look at our linebackers. You just talked about Henry To'oTo'o. At the end of the day, though, we recruited them. We wanted them. You know, these top 5 recruiting classes aren't hitting the mark.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Winning recruiting titles is not going to translate to national titles. It's quite evident. You know, look at us this year. I mean, look at us last year. You can get 4 and 5 stars all you want. You can have the greatest collection of men ever assembled on paper. But if it doesn't translate to the field, at the end of the day, what do you have?
No, absolutely. I think Kool-Aid and Eli Ricks are pretty solid tandem to have back there. But at the end of the day, every time there's a pass that goes in the air, it could be 4th and 17. I have no confidence whatsoever that we're going to effectively defend that pass.
Especially if it's over the middle.
Because our backs are normally facing the ball. We can't play it. Can't deflect it. Can't intercept it. You can't intercept and play what you don't see. At some point, do you see us in the future changing that philosophy on how we cover these receivers?
I'd like to say yes, but given the state of things here, in the past 2 or 3 years, we've had the same problems consecutively. Nothing's changing. And I've said this over and over again throughout the show, and you've heard me say this. I'm tired of the Sunday school answers, the perfect answer to every question that we're being fed by Nick Saban, Will Anderson, and whoever's at the podium. Like I said, I'd like for things to change. I like to say yes to your answer or your question, but from what I'm seeing, the answer is no. Nothing's changing.
Look at the 2 losses. We scored enough points tonight to win. We scored enough points against Tennessee to win. But at the end of the day, when it gets late in these games, we'll get the lead, and we let them march right down the field to score again, to lose.
Yeah.
That used to not happen.
No, not at all. I mean, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt back in 2011 or 2016 that if offensively you weren't doing it, that defense was going to take care of things. There was no question about it. It could be 4th and 1 at the goal line to win it all. That defense was going to make sure you didn't cross that line of scrimmage. Now, you don't have that same feeling, rightfully so.
Hey, that number 27 for LSU, I'm almost positive they said he was a walk-on running back.
Walk-on running back. Yep, absolutely.
And he gutted us a couple of different times. I'm like, that used to not happen. We used to stuff the middle. And it's just, it's all ebb and flow. Programs go up, programs come down. Could be worse, but could be A&M fans.
Oh,
look at Clemson today. Clemson hadn't been the same since their run. It's going to happen. It's look at history. we can't be on top forever.
Right. Well, brother, I appreciate the call. I'm going to get on
Thank you
off
for
of
your
here
time.
and take some of these other calls who've been waiting for so long, but I appreciate you being with us. Roll Tide. Yeah, as far as Clemson, I don't think they're really done. They're one quarterback away from continuing their success. Matter of fact, as soon as DJ Uiagalelei, forgive me for not pronouncing it right if I did it wrong, leaves, there's a guy who's behind him who is significantly better. But we're not here to talk about Clemson. Welcome to the show. You're on live with Justin Riley on the TDA Post Game Show on a late Saturday night. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey man, this is Ari from Atlanta. Everybody in my family's from Alabama, so I've been Roll Tide since a baby. Oh my gosh, I could cry watching this game today. It was very frustrating. One main point, like they had a spy for Bryce Young all game, who barely ran. Why didn't we have a spy for McDaniels? We made all game no quarterback spot. So we just continuously let him run. They're going RPO every time. Why aren't we going with a quarterback spot? We didn't spy all game. I didn't understand that. He was running to me more than he was passing. No quarterback spy. Defensively, my biggest issue with Alabama recruiting is, can we work on getting like today? I will say this is the best the D tackles played all season, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
But I haven't been a fan of the defensive tackles areas like we used to have in the Jonathan Allens, the Quentin Williams.
Right.
To me, the defensive tackles haven't been as good as they used to be. The pressure in the middle, we've been relying on Will Anderson too much, and I think now it's becoming an issue because he hasn't been effective as much as he was last season. He hasn't been getting sacks as much. I don't know if they're doubling him or whatever the case is.
Yeah, they're double and triple teaming him, man. There's only so much you can do as one man, even though that man is Will.
Yeah, but it's like everybody else. That means y'all in one-on-one. So why can't we get to the quarterback if Will is pulling at least two linemen every time? It's like I think we got to recruit better at the defensive tackle position. We haven't. That used to be a strength for us. It was all four across the board on the line. Everybody could get to the quarterback. And offensively, this may be the worst receiving core we've ever had. I've seen in my entire life. This is the first time I've seen us not have a number one receiver that we know that will always be open at all times. Ja'Cory Brooks, Trayshawn Holden, like they're not number one guys, in my opinion. They're not the Jamison Williams. They're not the Mechis. They're not the Jalen Waddles. They're not the Calvin Ridleys. This is the worst receiving core, and I think that's the problem. We've been having Bryce Young have to prolong. The reason he's having to prolong because these guys aren't getting open. Even if like the play calling isn't the greatest, I mean, they're not getting open. And Bryce Young is having to prolong too many times, in my opinion, which is due to the receivers. They're not open. Like they're not open. Like the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs is leading us in receiving yards is ridiculous. Like I don't understand. And my last point I'll be quick. Last drive, LSU was taking it down fourth quarter. Once we seen that they were starting to run out the clock, what I would have done was we're bringing everybody inside the box at that point. If they score, at least let them score to where we have time left, which we end up having time, but I would have let them try to score a little quicker than that. Mm-hmm. We force them. We bring everybody in the box. If they throw it over the top on the fly route, I'm fine with Eli Ricks and Kool-Aid defending that one-on-one. But we don't bring our safeties down enough. Like, they're running the ball. Like, they didn't throw too many deep passes. They probably threw one pass 20 yards on Eli Ricks. Like, why aren't we bringing our safety downs in the box? And, like, at that point, they're trying to run out the clock. You're going to have to beat us over the top. We're not going to allow you to just keep running the ball so the clock runs out. I don't understand it's a mixture of coaching and the player recognition. Like, the last play of the game, the rub route. We all know you have to jump at. Like, you have to basically meet him. You have to meet Jordan Battle. You have to meet him. As soon as he passes the last offensive lineman, you meet him there. You don't come around. Like, it's just, that's player recognition. Like, it's coaching, but it's stuff that our players, they don't like I said, it's part of the problem. I'm pretty sure Henry Tuatoa is our captain and middle linebacker, and the play recognition is not there for our defense at all.
I agree to everything you said. I'm not going to refute any of those points because, I mean, you can't. It's obvious. It's right in front of us. And in regards to all those simple things that you mentioned, it sounds too much like right. But yet, here we are. We're still doing these things that are causing our team to not succeed. And then all we're going to get is the Sunday school answer come press conference time. So, but thanks for the call, brother. We greatly appreciate it. Roll Tide.
No problem.
Yeah. Too much like right. All right. I'm going to take the next call. Thanks for calling in late. We have gone past the midnight hour on the TDA Post Game Show. If you would state your name, where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is John from Maryland.
What's going on? Thanks for staying with us so long.
Yeah, I would just like to say I think they're on to Nick Saban's process throughout the league. And Nick Saban is a great coach, but he has to realize that they are on to what he's been teaching. Therefore, he has to put a different spin on his process. In doing so, he needs to get rid of his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator. I don't understand how they think that they can win a game by just plugging the gaps when they don't really have any end rushes on defense. And the linebacker, Tatua, whatever his name is, he's horrible. So they should get rid of him. And I think that once they bring a new offensive coordinator in there, things will get a lot better. But until they do, they're going to continue to lose. If you go back and you look at some of the games that were close, this guy, the offensive coordinator, he started running plays and they get into the end zone. So my question is, why weren't those plays ran earlier? And to me, when you start looking at it and looking at the history of it, I think you might find that gambling is going on from some aspect. And that's all I have to say.
I got you, man. Greatly appreciate the call. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
We appreciate all of you people for being with us tonight. Got a lot of anger, a lot of frustration that we are venting tonight. I saw some folks in the chat questioning the 2-point conversions or the failed 2-point conversions 2 times in a row. Kind of blows my mind there too, because if you get the extra point on both of those trips, that field goal at the end by Will Reichard wins the game. But all I'm doing is leading a podcast right now. Welcome in. You're on late with Justin Riley on the TDA Post Game Show. If you would state your name, where you calling from.
What's up, Justin? This is Sean from Huntsville, SPH Huntsville.
Hey, brother. Man, you must be dedicated. You've been with me the entire night and through I don't know how many podcasts this week. You definitely win an award for that, brother. But hey, this is your time. Go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
Man, first and foremost, let me say, played my college ball at Alabama University right here in Huntsville, Alabama. I live in Madison, though. Coach these kids right now. I used to coach at JCHS here. First thing is, let me take a different approach, and I do say respectfully that I do blame Coach Saban. You know, I do. I'm one of the guys that I watched this Bama team schematically, and I do blame him. I'm not one of these fans that give Coach Saban all the credit when everything going good, but as soon as something go bad, it's Pete Golding's fault, it's everybody else's fault but Coach Saban. I do think, and when I say I blame Coach Saban, I don't blame him to avail. I blame him because I watched Joe Paterno go through this. I watched Bobby Bowden go through this. I do think Coach Saban is in a lost land of NIL and transfer portals and tender kids and kids leaving. I coach these high school kids. Their mentality nowadays is totally different than what Coach Saban came up with. And kids having anxiety and having to hire firms to teach him about these kids and how to relate to these type kids and kids leaving when they get mad at you, when you fuss at them too much. It's a totally different world out there, man. You better know that. And I do think it's overwhelming Coach Saban. You can see it on his face, man.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that. I do believe he's having a hard time relating to these kids. I'll be the first to tell you because I talked to these kids. I was at the VTO camp in Atlanta back in February. A lot of these kids go to Bama because of Bama's reputation as far as the NFL, as far as the mystique of this team will give me. It's not that they just want to be a part. These kids, I can honestly tell you, don't give a damn about national championships. They'll say that while they're in high school, right? But when they get to Alabama, it's me. It's Twitter. Is how can I, I'm telling you, these kids are just different. And we can't even be mad at the kids. You know why? It's our fault. It's our fault. When I say our, I mean the consumer, the customer, the fan. We give these kids TV shows in high school. We rate them, rivals.com, number one this, number one that. We big them up. We make them think that just this. We praise them. Some of these kids come from these great high schools with that's got 12,000 people out there every Friday. They never face any adversity until they get to college. So we build these monsters up only to tear them down in the face of a loss. And they see all the bad things on Twitter. And a lot of these kids don't know how to handle it. They do not. They're not built like they used to be, man. But I will say this, as far as our offense go, I'm very disappointed in our offense, man, because it's been like this all season. To me, from what I see, our offense has no identity. No identity. It's kind of like, okay, we get in trouble, let's get the ball to Jameer. We get pass happy. I've never seen Alabama throw the ball as much as we're throwing it now. When you throw the ball so much, you lose your physicality, man. You lose your physicality. And I think that's what happened. The offensive line get tired of pass blocking. They really, really, really do. It's very, very frustrating for me to watch UGA. And I watch the scheme with their defense, how they're blitzing all the time, playing man on the back end, while we're dropping 8, rushing forward. What that means is we're playing to not get beat deep, while Georgia's playing to attack you on every single last play. And they live or die with whatever happened on the back end. The reason why I say I think Coach Saban is different is because, to me, I've never seen Coach Saban this lackadaisical in his adjustments. Sure, I don't absolve Pete Golding of his responsibilities. He's a defensive coordinator. But make no mistake about it, that is Coach Saban's defense that guy is running. That is not Pete Golding's defense that he brought with him. That is the same defense that our defense have been running, minus a few little snaps here and there. We've been running forever. That is Nick Saban's defense that Pete Golding is calling the plays of. When have you guys ever seen Coach Saban? I said this before. I said Coach Smart would not make the mistakes that Coach Saban did against Tennessee. I said, when have you guys ever seen Coach Saban see us get pattern matched to the point to where a matchup is taken advantage of by Josh Heupel, where he gets his best receiver Hyatt on DeMarco Helms? Okay, cool. You did that. You scored on us. No problem. After the second time that happened, we had no answer for it. We tried to go nickel in the second half with Malachi and got beat again. When have you guys ever seen Coach Saban 4 or 5 steps behind like that? You know what I mean? And he had no answer. Our personnel is not the way it used to be. We got these in-the-box safeties like DeMarco Helms and Jordan Battle that will thump you. They will thump you. They'll hit you. But their deep cover skills is not there. That's why I said in the comment section, players like Caleb Downs is of the utmost importance. That's what Georgia has in Malachi Starks. These kids can play the run. They can play the pass. We got these 200-pound box safeties that cannot cover deep at all. And the only reason we don't get exposed more is because we don't have a lot of Hendon hookers in the SEC right now. If we play teams
no doubt
that has those, right, if we play teams that have those type of quarterbacks, we would get exposed more on that.
Well, you would have seen that in the second game against Texas had Quinn Ewers continue to play because he was carving up that defense and there was no answer. And everybody everybody was giving, a lot of praise to the defense and about how we finished the game. But I didn't understand that because Quinn Ewers was destroying us and Steve Sarkisian was finding mismatches everywhere and exposing everybody. And the
That's a
only
whole fact.
adjustment we made was they brought their third string quarterback in, and we still barely beat him. Are you kidding
That's a
me?
fact.
And I'll address a couple of more points, before we finish the call. One, we're 10 games in, and we still don't have an identity. How's that
That's a fact.
possible? How is a Nick Saban coach team not know their identity in week 10? In week 1 or week 2, week 3, maybe I could justify that. We're 10 games in, playoffs on the line, national title on the line, conference on the line. We don't know who we are. So we're just going to let Bryce Young be the magician from Hogwarts and pull his magic out and bail us out again with backyard football. Or we're going to throw it on Jahmyr Gibbs and let them save the day again. Well, there's only so much you can do. I used this analogy earlier. Superman sometimes needs help from the Justice League. And that's the truth. We're 10 games in, and we still don't know who our top wide receiver is. Our primary guy is Jermaine Burton. How's that working for you? Oh, it's not. I was really believing in Ja'Cory Brooks, but how many passes did he drop tonight? I think we lead the nation in drop passes. Critical things. Week 10. And this stuff is still going on.
Out. They don't double Jermaine Burton. They don't double Ja'Cory Brooks. These guys all have man coverage. We have safeties that can't cover. We have players tweeting after games. But let's get deeper than that real quick before I go. Let me get on the fans for a minute. I had the pleasure, and I say pleasure because I enjoy football, to go to Tennessee this year, to go to LSU last year, to go to Florida 2 years ago. Let me say this, because I remember Bama back in the day, and Jonathan Allen's in them days, 2016, 2017. Not only have we dropped the ball as a football team, but we have dropped the ball as a fan. If you think that I can remember when Bryant Denny was an absolute raucous crowd. That stadium used to be rocking in 2016, 2015, 16, 17. You go to Bryant Denny now, if you think Bryant Denny is loud, go to Tennessee. It's going to hurt your feelings.
No kidding.
Go to Florida. Go to LSU. If you think Bryant Denny is even when you call out the starting lineup, our fans just clap. It's like we get loud at times, but all I say to the fans is we have turned into wine and cheesers. Winning has spoiled us all. You know what I mean? The hunger is not there. Let me leave you with this quote that Muhammad Ali said. When they asked Muhammad Ali, what's wrong with your career, man? You took a couple of losses. What happened? You used to be the greatest. What happened? He said, well, it's hard to get up and practice hard when you're sleeping in silk sheets. You know what I'm saying? Winning has spoiled us, brother. Our crowd ain't loud. Our football team is not playing the way we usually play. These kids are not hungry. It's a whole different world out there. And it hurts my feelings to see Georgia adapting to it, and we seem to be letting the rope go. You know what I mean? But and if we don't get our SHIT together, you'll see another field rushing Saturday at Ole Miss. Do we play Ole Miss on Saturday?
We do play Ole Miss in Oxford on Saturday. And listen,
so we better get it together.
I live in Mississippi right now, and these Rebel fans are hungry, and they're ready to finally get Coach Saban monkey off their back, so to speak. And listen, Lane Kiffin's going to catch us sooner rather than later. And right now, it's the perfect time because you kind of wonder, like I mentioned earlier, where's our mentality going to be with nothing to play for other than just pride? Are we going to have are we going to be in our feelings and just kind of go through the motions next week? Are we going to salvage the season and still play for a New Year's Six Bowl and something to go out on in regards to a positive note for the upperclassmen? I just don't know. In the past, if we took a loss, we just rebounded and we got our act together. We took offense to it. We had some pride about ourselves. But now I just don't know. This new generation, like you said, man, it's a different generation. I blame the kids, but I also blame the people who created that culture of allowing them to get away with so much, allowing society to dictate what they should be held accountable for, and what they shouldn't be. Giving them timeout cards and hug circles and Dr. Phil's speeches.
Right.
I've had enough of it. We created this culture.
Me too, man.
But the thing is, though, while this culture is running rampant, teams like Georgia are still able to overcome it. But here at Alabama, we can't. We're just a well-dressed Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. It's ridiculous, and it's really peel back the layers of it, and really look how Georgia played that game against Tennessee today. They did the exact opposite of what we did. We dropped 8 the whole game and only rushed the front 4 in hopes of trying to stop somebody. Georgia attacked them guys. Georgia played man on the back end, pattern match underneath, and said, go get them. Go hunting, boys, all game long, and we'll live with whatever happens. I don't know what happened, man. But listen, Justin, I'm going to let you go because I know you got some other people, man. I thank you for taking my call, brother.
Hey, man.
And I'll be here. Continue to support as always.
Hey, I appreciate it. And we look forward to, seeing you in the chat on ML on Words on Monday, and then also watching our show on Tuesday. Again, reminder, DJ Hall is going to be our guest this Tuesday, so check it out. All right, brother, roll tide.
I will be there, brother. Roll tide.
Let's see here. Man, I appreciate everybody's devotion, I guess, staying on so late. But I'm going to take one more call here if my technology will work. Let's see here. All right. So welcome in live TDA Post Game Show. We're TDA After Hours. We are approaching the 12:30 mark, and you're still on with Justin Riley. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, man. How you doing, man? This is Jonathan from Huntsville.
Hey, what's going on? Glad to have you in, man. You've been waiting a long time on that phone line, brother. First of all, I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it over to you and let you say what you got to say.
Man, I got to tell y'all, man, I've been listening to y'all for a long time, man. All the greats and everybody that played for Alabama, man, I appreciate y'all, man, big time. But I have got to say, man, Saban has got to get Bill O'Brien out of that booth, man, and do him the same way he did. Kiffin, man, when he first got there, all up in the booth and stuff and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Get him down there where he can coach the players, man, when the players not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But it's like he's just letting them freestyle and not getting back to what we're supposed to be really doing. It's appalling, man. I really can't believe what I'm really seeing out there on the field, man. You have got to bring that physicality that what we're doing. Run the ball like crazy, man, instead of the play action and stuff like that. Stop doing all this creative stuff, man. And we just had 2 weeks, man, to be prepared for LSU. Like, why would you look mediocre out there? You shouldn't be looking mediocre, man. That's not the way how we operate. You have got to punish people, man, once we step our cleats out there on that field like that, man. But, I appreciate you for taking my call, man. But I'm really disappointed the way how everything turned out, man, because I really was expecting a championship this year, man. I'm disappointed that we didn't get it last year for the back-to-back. I wish Bryce would have in that championship game. I wish he would have used his feet the same way he did in the SEC championship game. But I appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate it for me getting in there, man. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide. Glad to have you on with us. Man, appreciate the dedication here. Gotta get to a couple of things. Bama 18 NC. Watching the bland and uncreative offenses like watching Stallings offenses back in the 90s. Yeah, but you know what? That Stallings blue collar hit you in the mouth type offense, although not flashy, got the job done. And they weren't going to let the things that are going on happen back in that day, man. Don't get it twisted. Well, you played at Alabama, so you understand, man. But I take a Gene Stallings offensive guy from the 90s today just because of their mindset and their heart and their passion over a lot of what we've been experiencing here lately. But I'm going to take another call. Welcome in. You are calling in live to TDA Post Game Show. We have hit the 12:30 mark, and you have to be one of the most dedicated fans out there. So welcome in.
What's going on, Justin? This is Jared all the way from Buffalo, New York. I'm just like 130. So
130 for you.
1:30 for me, man. But no, man, like these callers, guys, these guys have hit it right on the nail. I mean, if there's anything to take away from this, it's the fact that we can now have conversations about recruiting. We can have conversations now about Bill O'Brien and Pete Golden now walking out the door, potentially finding some new coordinators. Hey, Joe Brady, he lives 20 minutes away from me, so hey, Joe Brady can get that call. He's looking for a job, maybe to get D'Amico Ryans from San Fran. But no, this goes probably beyond the coaching. We talk about Will Anderson with the lack of anxiety. The offensive line, pretty much playing subpar. The way that these concepts have been drawn, and just the way that they've been executed by the players and the coaches is just it's too simplistic, and it's extremely easy to defend. I don't know. Like there's so much honestly to say. I mean, Pete Golding and once again the lack of adjustments that he makes in the second half. It's just appalling. But we lost the physical battle. We lost up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. The arm tackling was just amazing to me. It was just honestly amazing to see, because every time it would hit, it would, instead of being a 2-3 yard game, would be 5-6 yards after contact. It's just incredible. And especially in our secondary, how we still can't figure out how to play the ball, especially if they go vertically, is amazing. And the funny part is that Jaden Daniels had 3 receivers that were open, stretching vertically down the field, where DeMarco Hellams couldn't once again cover the deep third. If Jaden Daniels just would have looked that way, whether it was Butte or I think it was Brian Thomas or some other receivers, they could have potentially put up more points. So that still is an issue that LSU did not take advantage of, but other teams like Lane Kiffin will be taking advantage of.
Oh, no doubt.
If they start to stretch that field. It's just appalling to me, man, that the same stuff that we've been seeing over and over and over again continues to happen. I mean, I will say this, I'll admit this, the LSU game, I was not stressed. I was more disappointed than I was stressed, because I refuse to be stressed. I mean, this is insanity. It's the same stuff that's happening every single week. So it's kind of like, for me, why be mad at something that we just refuse to fix, we refuse to change. And, the funny part is, I mean, we made it to a national title game last year, but this happened last year. The only difference was that we had a vertical game.
That's right.
Difference. We had a vertical passing attack, but last year we had 4 games that we arguably could have lost. 3 of them were decided by one possession. 3 of them were decided by one possession for the most part, but it was the same crap. It was the lack of intensity. It was questioning about Bill O'Brien's play designs and lack of commitment to the run. Pete Golding and just kind of the lack of adjustments that he was able to make with the personnel that he has. But we overcame that because we beat Georgia. But we matched up Georgia beautifully well, because we had a vertical passing attack that could threaten Georgia's, and they just didn't see anything like us. So that's kind of what we got away with. But, now for this year, I mean, Nick Saban's backed up to a corner. He's backed up into a wall, and now he's got to make choices. He's got to reevaluate this roster. He's got to reevaluate this coaching staff. Because if both of those guys come back, there is going to be hell that is going to just be absolutely risen by the Tide community. Brian Denny might burn down if both those coordinators do decide to come back. There is absolutely no reason why these coordinators should come back at all. One of these guys, again, we understand Nick Saban's going to try to find a job. He's not going to fire them right off the spot. But they need to go. You can't have 2 subpar coordinators at the same time. Maybe you can get away with it if you have a great coordinator like a Steve Sarkisian. But no, you can't have 2 subpar coordinators with a subpar offensive line, with a quarterback in Bryce Young that literally has to be Peyton Manning as far as being a field general on the field, as far as making all the adjustments on the line of scrimmage, rerouting all the receivers, and the fact that we only snapped and again, the lack of just basic concepts with our receivers is just absolutely insane. But I don't know. It is what it is. Again, I hope that we can beat Ole Miss and we can win out. But if we don't, I'm just not going to stress that much about it. I think the thing I care about is of course beating Auburn's for the bragging rights, and then focusing on the offseason and see what happens, what goes from there. But I'm not too surprised about this result. We play like crap in the first 8 games of the season. This is exactly what you're going to get. So I'm not going to hold that too much of your time, man. Appreciate you for stopping by again. I know it's late for both of us out there,
yeah.
But definitely thank you for the call.
Hey, no problem, man. Glad to have you on. And I definitely want to address, Bill O'Brien. You mentioned last year about having guys that can stretch a field, and Jamison Williams and John Mechie. those are two elite players matched with another elite player, Bryce Young, and what they were able to do made up for a lot of Bill O'Brien's inaccuracies. So you were able to mask a lot of how horrible he is as a coordinator. Now we don't have those two elite receivers on the outside. We just have a Bryce Young, and he has still been able to overcome Bill O'Brien's inaccuracies, but now he doesn't have that help to bail him out every time. So there's only so much one man can do. So yeah, I agree. Having Bill O'Brien on staff beyond this year, heck, leave him in Baton Rouge right now, along with Bill O'Brien. If you let him stay there, man, there's going to be pandemonium. Like you said, they're going to be burning stuff down. It's going to be absolutely, it's not acceptable at this point.
Yeah, you can't have two subpar coordinators at the same time. That's not going to get the job done for winning a national championship. And the funny part is, when I'm watching that offense play, when was it? I think we ran like one or two crossing routes. We did not have any design routes at all that made their safeties work laterally.
Well, I will say, in the second half that we were running crossing routes. The problem is that Bryce had an off night. He just wasn't hitting those throws, and I think that he's still injured to some extent. From what I've been told, the injury he suffered takes a good 6 to 8 weeks just to really fully heal. But there were a lot of crossing routes that were wide open, but he just wasn't able to connect. And also, too, he wasn't seeing receivers either. There's a couple of times where Latu was wide open across the middle, missed him completely. But I agree. Well, the entire season, where were the crossing routes? Where were the underneath? I've yet to see a jet sweep utilizing guys' speed like Isaiah Bond and Kobe Prentice or Christian Leary, for that matter, another guy that we're going to have to file a missing persons report because we're not utilizing him. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we ran. I think we finally ran a running back screen. I think that was the first time all season I think I actually seen a running back screen. The funny part is we ran play action with the screen, so the play was a lot harder to get going a little bit. But I don't know. It is what it is. In a way, I'm not glad that we lost, but in a way, it's kind of like it relieves it because now we don't. It's like for me at least, I'm not stressed anymore. Now that's just completely gone out the window. And at this point, it's like I would rather see a lot of our backup players get some shine, get some improvement, because a lot of these same players. I mean, again, it would be great to see these guys get a New Year's Six bowl game bid, but it's like that's not our way. That's not the standard, and maybe that's us being spoiled at the same time. But that's just not what I grew up watching. I grew up in the latter half watching Mike Shula and Kynes, and grew up watching like DJ Hall and the rest of those guys play. But for the most part, it's been competing for 8 national titles. I mean, for this is the first time since 2007 that we're actually having this discussion about the Alabama offseason. Like typically when our season's over, it's the Auburn game. That's what makes it the best rivalry in college football because that's the game that decides who's going to the national title for the most part. But now that it's gone. It's the first time that's happened since 2007. It's a lot of firsts. Lost to Tennessee since 2006. Lost to LSU for the first time in Baton Rouge since 2010. It's a lot of firsts that's going on for this particular year, and it seems like it's just continuing to go on a downward spiral.
Well, I agree with you. You kind of felt that way, as the weeks progressed, just not seeing things change. You kind of felt at some point streaks were going to be broken. Tennessee, first time in 16 years. LSU, first time since 2010. I hate to think about any other first that may happen. I hope another one doesn't happen next week where Lane Kiffin picks up his first win against Nick Saban. But then again, we don't know what our motivation is going to be going from here out. And if we're able to go to a New Year's Six bowl, are we going to have everybody participating? Are we going to have all the upperclassmen opting out? That's another thing to think of. We're in uncharted territory as the new age Bama fans. I've had discussions like this before because, I'm showing my age here. I grew up watching Gene Stallings led teams. I was at Alabama from 1999 through 2003 when I experienced 4 coaches in 5 years. And the height of our accomplishments was a Independence Bowl. So the times have changed, and I definitely appreciate what we're doing now. But I guess we all have been spoiled to the standard that has been established, and when things start to go a little bit awry, like they are right now, you just get all out of sorts. But it's one thing to get beat; it's another thing to beat yourself, and then also lose a lot of things that were instilled into players by the guys before them, and a lot of fans right now don't seem to understand when the former players who come on my show week after week are echoing their displeasure, thinking they don't know what they're talking about. It's amazing for these fans to sit there and just completely disregard what they're saying as if they have no clue what they're talking about. These are the men that played the game. These are the men that played under Nick Saban. We've had guys who played under Gene Stallings. They know the assignment. They know what's to be expected. And when what they worked hard for, bled, sweat, and cried for, in Marvin Constant's case, gave his career for, is upset because you're ruining what the house that they built, don't come at us, because they hold everybody accountable, regardless of what society is teaching these kids now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And like I said, whenever the players speak, I shut up and I listen, man, because again, these are the players. They went through it. They've been through the bad. They've been through the good. And when they talk about how and what they're seeing, what this Alabama, this team, as far as lack of intensity, about what they're seeing from the coaching staff, and again, as fans, in a way, we can we can tell if a team is going to win a national title. It's easy to tell through the first 4 to 5 games of a season, where you can just tell that the feel is different because we've seen 6 of them. But for the players, for them to definitely identify it, they can tell right from the get-go. They can tell from the practice footage, from the connections that they have. They can tell it from the get-go. And for the entirety of this year, I've been watching you guys. You guys have been pretty much saying the same stuff through the beginning of the year, that there's just a lack of intensity, that something's off. The standard is just kind of missing. And you can see it. When you have players screaming about anxiety and all this type of stuff that's going on, we're not used to it. Even in 2019, when we had 2 losses and we lost to Auburn, at least we had an identity, which wasn't the defense. It was the offense that was the identity, which was a change because normally it was the defense. But at least we had something. We had something that we can go off of going into 2020, which ultimately turned into a national title. Once again, Pete Golden getting carried by Steve Sarkisian. But now we're into uncharted territory again, where there's nothing. There's no great offense. There's no great defense. Bryce Young and Will Anderson most likely are going to be going off, which they should go off to the NFL. And a lot of these guys are going to be gone next year to the NFL. So now you're now going to, in a way, it's going to be a complete overhaul of the team.
It is.
Now you're going to have a bunch of new guys coming here with no leadership at all from players that have never been a part of. They don't even know what the standard is. And that's my biggest concern. It's not the talent. It's not even the coaching, because I think that Nick Saban will find some good coaches, but it's that locker room. That's my biggest problem right there. Is you have a bunch of kids that are coming in now that don't even know what the standard is, and they're going to rely upon and look to other guys for leadership, and they don't even know what that is now. So that's the concerning part. We thought that 2020, that national championship team, that was the team that really set the precedent, especially going into this year. Because a lot of those dudes that were on that defense started in that game, and it's worse than it was now. But it seemed like the last team that was 2017, when we had Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, battling each other out. That was the last team, and that's concerning going into next year.
Absolutely. Well, man, I appreciate your call. Thank you for calling in, man. Always good to hear from the fans. Definitely tune in on Monday night for Steven's show, In My Own Words, and then check us out on Tuesday night for the Bama Standard. We're not done with this by any stretch of the imagination. And trust me, come Tuesday night on our show, we're not going to be politically correct. But thanks again for the call.
Yep, absolutely, man.
Man, he's speaking about 2019 when we had those 2 losses, and Yeah, he's absolutely right. We still knew our identity despite the losses, but I don't think that we had the skies falling mentality with that particular group, because a lot of what happened or those two losses were really uh, directly correlated to injuries that year. Of course, Tua Tagovailoa went down, and he was the identity, the heart and soul of that team. And Mac Jones, phenomenal player. Definitely 2020 was a great year for him. And uh, but he wasn't quite ready for that yet in 2019. But he showed flashes. But we didn't panic because we understood what was going on, and we knew that majority of those guys would be coming back the next season. And they got the Bama culture. They understand what the standard is. But the caller made a great point. A lot of these guys are leaving, and we talked about a rebuilding year being this past season. Folks, we're about to hit a true rebuilding year. We're losing everybody. I mean, unless by some great calling from the Lord that saying that Bryce Young needs to come back for his senior season happens, he gone. So we are essentially starting over. There's going to be an overhaul on that defense. Everybody, for the most part, except for Kool-Aid and Ricks. Well, Ricks may leave too, so that's another thing to consider. Terrion Arnold will be back. Malachi Moore more than likely is going to be back. Jaheim Otis will be back, but you're going to lose DJ Dale. Possibly Justin Eboigbe coming back. He can declare. I mean, he is a senior, but he was lost in the fourth game of the season, so he can get a red shirt and coming back. And I feel like this year he was finally beginning to come into his own. So, that'd be a great piece to have back next year. Definitely needs to come back to work on his draft stock. But next year we have no clue what's going to happen. I mean, we still don't know who our wide receivers are this year. And a lot of these guys that you're seeing on the field are coming back next year. So do you feel comfortable with who these wide receivers are going to be coming in next season? I don't know, man. There's just a lot of questions that still haven't been answered. Like I said, week 10, and we don't know who we are yet. I can't say during my entire time as an Alabama fan that I've never not known what our identity was, regardless of the time, regardless of the coach. Heck, I was there during the probation years. The Mikes, the Dennis Franchiones, the Mike Price being there for 20 minutes until he decided to start going to the Citizens Club with the university's credit card. And then, Mike Shula, I worked for Mike Shula my last year as a student strength and conditioning assistant. But even then, when the times were, I guess they coined as the dark ages, I didn't get this kind of feel from those teams. They still had fire. They still had passion. And I'm going to tell you, too, in regards to the offensive line, there's been a lot of comments throughout this show about our offensive line. Even in those bad years that I went through when I was there, our offensive line still wasn't getting whipped. No, we still had guys like Wesley Britt up there calling the shots. Alonzo Ephraim and Evan Mathis, Mariko Portis, guys that, they understood what it meant to play for that offensive line at Alabama. You don't play offensive line at Alabama unless you're going to be bringing it every week. And I'm going to tell you, I talk to those guys still, and those guys are not happy with what we're seeing here on the field in modern times. But man, we have been rolling strong for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Man, I appreciate everybody in the chat. I want to also thank the people who donated via Super Chat. If you're still on, thank you. Sorry it took me so long to get to that, but definitely want to let you know that you're appreciated. So let me tell you what's going to be coming up this next week with TDA. On Monday night, in my own words, Stephen M. Smith doing his thing. Going to be taking a lot of your calls, so please fill up the chat and fill up the call line. At 6 p.m. Central, he's going to be going live. And man, I can't wait to see what that's going to be about. Tuesday night, the Bama Standard on TDA, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're not familiar with us, guys, you need to become very familiar. I'm going to tell you right now, our show, we're not politically correct. We don't hold hands. And chances are we may hurt your feelings because we're going to tell the absolute truth. We have legends as co-hosts: Bo Scarbrough, Marvin Constant, Stephen Smith is there, comedy legend Steve Brown. That's my panel. We resemble the locker room. We have fun. We tell it like it is. We also have legends as guests telling it like it is. You definitely need to see what we're about if you've not yet done so. Again, Tuesday night, we're going to have DJ Hall, former Alabama wide receiver, that set just about every receiving record until the modern guys, the Jerry Judys, the Jalen Waddles, and Devontae Smith and Mari Coopers came along. He kind of was the founder of wide receiver U, and I might be speaking blasphemy because I think we still can count David Palmer as the grandfather of wide receiver U. So that's that. But listen, guys, I know there are still some people on the phone line, but it's almost 1 a.m. here in my time, and I've done all I can do. I do apologize. Please call in Monday if we missed your call tonight. I try to get in as many as I could, and I appreciate you for being with us for nearly 3 hours. Yes, Zach, Tyrone Prothrow is definitely another guy. It sucks when we are in this predicament here. We don't really lose that much at Alabama. It's something we're not familiar with. We're in uncharted territory. You know, where we go from here, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. I'm just kind of I'm concerned about where our motivation is going to be these next 3 weeks of the regular season. Do we want to finish it right? Do we want to close out strong? Or do we want to go 0-3 against ranked teams? Guys, that's what we're looking at. You know, we're 0-2 right now against top ranked teams or against ranked teams. And possibility looking at 0-3. When's the last time you saw Alabama dropping that many games to ranked teams? Virtually unheard of. So maybe 2010. I don't know. My brain has stopped functioning at this point. But yeah, next 3 weeks, intriguing. I guess the anxiety of making the playoff is gone. Maybe we'll find some new anxiety. Who knows? Hey, Sean Stewart, get Nick Saban on the show. Wish we could do that, man, but that ain't ever going to happen. Oh, yeah. Bama 18 NC, Robert. Don't forget Keith Brown. Yeah, absolutely. Keith Brown is another dude. Listen, he was Jamison Williams before Jamison Williams came along. He was that fast. I witnessed him play, and he's been a guest on our show many times, even with DJ Hall. Great to hear their stories and what it was like, you know, in their wide receiver group and under the tutelage of Brody Kroll, who's also been on our show too. Awesome guy. May try to get him back on next week, but Rodney Dunn, my brain stopped functioning just like Nick Saban's. It's quite possible. The only difference between me and him is I don't have that paycheck. So there you go. But hey, I appreciate everybody from being on at this point. Hey, I'm rambling because I'm tired, but great show. Appreciate everybody from being on. I said that again. So it is time for me to go. We will see you next week on all of the TDA content. Oh yeah, before y'all go, we do have the Bama Standard YouTube channel. If you have not checked us out yet, please go over there, subscribe to us, like the videos. A lot of our content is put over there as well as up-to-date recruiting news. We will have a post-game show tomorrow night, and I'll announce the times. It's going to be me and Coach Smook doing our Sunday show. So definitely filter in for that. And then just get ready for the week ahead. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Great show again. Roll Tide.